Our project TRACE has the objective to implement this policy and to develop tools, instruments, and capacity building programs for the SMEs, for the entrepreneurs to understand and enhance their level of sustainability. So I'm very glad to introduce the first panel of speakers, representatives of institutions that are supporting the project, both at the regional level, but also at the European level. We have Vito Signati, who is representative of the Chamber of Commerce of the Basilicata region. But also representative of Europe Enterprise Network, contact point, and a representative of a big network of Chamber of Commerce, which is Mirabilia. So Vito will tell about this. Then I also already introduced Antonio Nicoletti, the director of APT Basilicata, one of the valued partners of the TRACE project, and hosting this event today. And then we have Cinzia De Marzo, our moderator for the next session, senior experts at Brussels from the European Commission and from different initiatives. We are also will have, I hope, the representative of the Basilicata region, Dr. Michele Busciolano, which had some issues but is trying to connect online. So Vito, the floor is yours.
Grazie. Good morning. I'm really happy. Grazie, Antonia, for this opportunity to be here today. We are in a fantastic place that is the demonstration what is Matera, I think, and compliments for this opportunity. Yes, I speak just little in English and because I speak bad English and I prefer to speak the second part in Italian if it's possible for you. But first of all, my president Michele Somma says me to thanks for to be here because Chamber of Commerce works for these teams, this work, and Antonia speaks about our best, more important project that is Mirabilia. Mirabilia is my heart. For this reason, I prefer to speak with the passion that have caratterizzato this way, and for this reason I speak in Italian. Sorry, but I hope that we understand, you understand our language. I know that there are many Spanish.
No problem. I can translate a little bit.
Okay, okay.
No problem.
Ok, grazie.
Feel free to
ok, grazie. Quindi questo tema che a tutti noi molto caro, insomma, parliamo di sostenibilità, lo decliniamo su tutta una serie di temi, di profili. L'amico Antonio Nicoletti, come dire, reduce da questo appuntamento, l'ho detto anche stamattina in un altro contesto, assolutamente significativo per dimostrare l'importanza di un certo tipo di turismo, no? Parliamo tutti oggi di turismo lento, turismo, quindi il turismo delle radici, come dire, costituisce proprio un fulcro, un elemento centrale di questo tema. Quindi complimenti a chi l'ha saputo fare con energia e anche qui con passione. Immagino che l'amico Antonio più bravo di me saprà trasferire questa emozione nella lingua inglese, però io dico sempre che quando si fanno le cose con la passione, con cuore, bisogna essere istintivi, immediati e diretti. Nessuno ci obbliga a portare avanti in questa, diciamo, con queste dinamiche alcuni ragionamenti, ma noi ci crediamo, amiamo questo territorio, un territorio che negli ultimi anni ha vissuto un fermento culturale significativo. Ringraziamo chi ha lavorato, a cominciare dagli anni 2010-2011, per la candidatura di un dossier significativo, importante, che poi diciamo, è maturato nel conseguimento di questo riconoscimento importante di Matera capitale europea della cultura. ed è stato proprio in quell'occasione che questo fermento culturale ha sensibilizzato i nostri animi e ha indotto a delle riflessioni. Una riflessione che io ho avuto insieme ai miei colleghi era proprio quello di cercare di creare un team di lavoro per poter condividere un percorso che ci potesse portare a raggiungere un obiettivo. Bene, io penso che questo obiettivo l'abbiamo raggiunto, questo ragionamento si chiama Mirabilia. Mirabilia è un progetto che nasce con alcune camere di commercio, si sviluppa e diventa un'associazione nazionale e oggi conta 21 camere di commercio al suo interno, con circa 31 siti UNESCO, perché diciamo la mission di Mirabilia era quella di mettere insieme, integrare i siti UNESCO meno noti che in un certo qual modo potessero dialogare e rappresentare, proporre un'Italia un po' differente rispetto a quella più nota delle nostre capitali italiane del turismo, che si chiamano Venezia, Firenze, Roma, dove oggi c'è quest'altra parola così terribile, no? Che ascoltiamo sempre, overtourism, no? Io poi devo dire che sono un conoscitore, non sono un tecnico, però secondo me c'è anche un abuso di questo termine dell'overtourism, perché come dire, bisognerebbe essere più cauti. Ma cercando di come dire, coniugare questa giornata al nostro lavoro, ecco, io ci tenevo a sottolineare intanto l'importanza europea che deve essere raggiunta. Noi la stiamo raggiungendo con Mirabilia, tant'è che la prossima settimana saremo a Dijon, dove nasce Mirabilia France, quindi questo modello che nasce in Italia, nasce qui da Matera, attraverso la Camera di Commercio della Basilicata, che oggi, come dire, fa questo secondo step di lavorare con i colleghi amici francesi che appunto partono con questa Mirabilia France. Ma noi abbiamo già dei memorandum of understanding con Croazia, con Bulgaria, con gli amici greci, quindi come dire auspichiamo che questo team di lavoro sia sempre più allargato e sia sempre più integrato rispetto a un obiettivo comune. Mirabilia, ripeto, parla di siti UNESCO meno noti, ma ovviamente decliniamo tutto quello che è il tema della cultura che insiste su ciascun territorio, declinandola in tutte le sue forme. Ovviamente le camere di commercio lavorano a favore e a sostegno del tessuto imprenditoriale, quindi diciamo i temi di maggiore pertinenza al nostro lavoro si chiamano artigianato, si chiamano cibo, perché è declinato in tutte le sue forme, il valore effettivo culturale che può avere il cibo e gli antichi mestieri. Quindi, come dire, Mirabilia, io ogni tanto lo descrivo come un grande cantiere notturno che accende questi fari per illumina il giorno e cerca di tirare fuori tutto quel sommerso che non si vede, no? Perché noi abbiamo delle cose straordinariamente importanti in tutto il nostro paese. Io da quando ho la fortuna di lavorare su questo tema mi sono accorto della bellezza che questo paese Italia ha. Questo dato statistico dei numeri, del numero dei siti UNESCO, 60, come dire, non ci appassiona, non è l'elemento statistico, però ci fa capire che effettivamente, insomma, questo paese Italia è ricco di cultura, è ricco di storia ed è ricco di valori che noi dobbiamo assolutamente, come dire, anteporre ad altre dinamiche. Sostenibilità, noi come Mirabilia l'abbiamo focalizzato in 3 appuntamenti importantissimi. Il primo risale a Cison Valmarino nel 2000, no, non mi fate dire le date perché sinceramente mi perdo, 2022, dove diciamo, è stata definita una carta, la carta di Cison Valmarino, su cui sono declinati i punti strategici del tema sostenibilità applicata al turismo. Dopo abbiamo sottoscritto una carta a Padova, analoga a quella di Cison Valmarino, proprio per ribadire il significato. Ovviamente quando parliamo di sostenibilità le Camere di Commercio, ripeto, rivolgono un'attenzione maggiore alla sostenibilità economica del sistema nostro produttivo, perché insomma, ma senza trascurare gli aspetti dell'impatto sociale e impatto che è determinato appunto. E l'ultima carta che è stata sottoscritta sempre da questo team Mirabilia a Fossa Cesia vicino Chieti, dove è stato ulteriormente ribadito questo concetto. Quindi il tema della sostenibilità, come dire, è nel nostro DNA al punto tale che è una parola che ha un significato, no? Oggi ci sono sempre le parole di moda, sostenibilità oggi è fondamentale, non si può però entrare un po' nelle viscere di quello che è il significato, il senso di questo termine, penso che sia assolutamente importante. Quindi questi territori che sono in un certo qual modo eterogenei, differenti fra di loro, ma accomunati da questa parola chiave. Quindi, come dire, questo appuntamento noi non solo lo sosteniamo, lo condividiamo, ma apprezziamo il lavoro certosino che è stato condotto da chi lo ha concepito, quindi un plauso sincero di cuore alla dottoressa Gravagnuolo e a tutto il suo team che ha collaborato. Ovviamente la Camera di Commercio è sempre a disposizione e siamo orgogliosi, onorati che in quest'ultimo periodo Matera è sede sempre di appuntamenti di questa portata, di questo livello, quindi ritorno a un ringraziamento all'amico Antonio Nicoletti che come APT insomma veramente ha dato un senso concreto, perché ripeto, le parole a volte rischiano di rimanere in un contesto, come dire, non definito. Mettere a terra, questo è un termine che è molto usato in questi, però mettere a terra è la cosa un po' più difficile e su quello devo dire che noi ci siamo riusciti, ma è necessario condividerlo, integrarlo, questo percorso con tutti, quindi grazie di essere qui e ovviamente siamo a disposizione per eventuali contatti e qualsiasi ragionamento che possa arricchire il nostro ragionamento, ma magari crearne anche nuove di opportunità. Grazie.
Translate, but very short. Shortly. So, thank you very much, Vito. I just wanted to share also with the other participants from other countries that the network Mirabilia is this network of the chambers of commerce for UNESCO sites that are less known. And we have in Italy 60 UNESCO sites, but in Europe even more, of course. And so the network created by Vito, by the Chamber of Commerce, is particularly active. There are collaboration in Croatia, in Bulgaria, and the next week the Mirabilia France will start. So what Vito was saying, just for those who are not able to follow in Italian, is that the network is very big, is enlarging more and more, and will surely connect with TRACE and support other enterprises, other organizations in Europe to strengthen our work and to strengthen this group of creative and innovative entrepreneurs that you are. So that said, thank you so much, Vito, and I give the floor to Antonio Nicoletti from the APT Basilicata.
Okay. Welcome to Matera and to Basilicata. Bienvenidos a Matera y Basilicatas. I met someone of you yesterday in our event dedicated to roots tourism in another place here in Matera. How many of you have been here before? So maybe 10%. This means that we have really a lot to do to promote Matera and Basilicata. It is something that we have been doing in the last years. And what the result that we have gained so far have been not only to consolidate the image of a place like this one, where we are, one of the oldest cities in the world, one of the examples of how Europe can reborn. For those of you who will be to the visit today in the afternoon, you will better understand the meaning of my words. When we talk about Matera, we talk about a city that was, in the last 20 years, was able to redesign its own destiny, literally. So the European Capital of Culture, the UNESCO place that you are today, 30 years ago, was named the shame of Italy. What happened, you will learn in the afternoon. Matera is the most famous place of our tourism in Basilicata, but we have been working in these years to let people know about all the other places of Basilicata, which is a region that is authentic, with a very old culture, not very well known by people, not only in tourism, but also in the mainstream culture. And we have been trying to improve the visibility of this region with many ways. One of these ways was the investment in roots tourism, which is tourism of people that go, the emigrants of first, second, third generation that want to discover their roots, the origins of their families. There is a big mass of people who are willing to discover their history, the history of their families. The most famous that belongs to our community is Francis Ford Coppola, who is from Bernalda, a small place close to Matera. Why roots tourism? Because roots tourism is a kind of tourism dedicated to values and very much interested in going to the deepest heart of our land, of our small villages. And it is something that is shared not only by Basilicata, but all over Italy. You have the same interest. And we have been able to gather all this kind of community in events that have been dedicated to that. But we have been also developing many other projects like Turismo delle Passioni, other things that I will not go further, not to bother you, but I invite you to discover our website, basilicataturistica.it, in many languages, also, of course, English, Spanish, and French, if you are interested in having much more information. So thanks for being here. Thanks to Antonia for leading this project. Thanks to my team that you see here, Rossana Mancaniello and Amodio Parmentola, that maybe some of you have been in touch in the past months. But we are very happy to host you in Matera. And we are also proud, for those who didn't know about Matera, to be the first to having welcome you here in this wonderful city. Thank you.
Okay, now it's working, sorry. Thank you, Antonio, for your introduction. I think that for a matter of time, we can merge the first sessions and we can go directly to Marco Iacuitto, who is the project advisor of this TRACE project from the European Commission. So I would ask to the Regia to give the floor to Marco for his intervention directly from Brussels. So Marco represents, he's there, okay, we see you. Good morning and thank you for being with us today. So I just introduce you, you will speak about the initiatives of the European Commission for the sustainability of the tourism sector and many different calls and opportunities that are now ongoing and that will come in the future. So without further delay, I give the floor to you, Marco, for your intervention. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonia. I hope that you can hear me. I think yes. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Marco Iacuitto. I'm project advisor at EISMEA. I'm very happy to be with you today, even if online. I would have appreciated to be in Matera, to be honest. I was in Matera some time ago, long time ago, so I would say that I would like to come back very soon to visit this very beautiful city, maybe next time. I'm really pleased to represent today EISMEA, and I would like to thank once again you, Antonia, as a coordinator of the TRACE project, but also all the consortium for inviting me today. I'm project advisor at EISMEA, the European Innovation Council and SMEs executive agency. For those of you who are not familiar with the European Union, our Brussels-based agency implements the European Innovation Council and manages other programs focusing on SME support, innovation, and single market. The project TRACE in particular is funded by the Single Market Program under the SME pillar. Just to explain you a little bit the role of the European Commission and the EISMEA and the executive agency, it is important to keep in mind that the European Commission sets out the policy framework, and that the EISMEA and the other executive agency translates this political orientation into concrete projects and achievement. We, however, collaborate closely and complement, of course, each other accordingly. It goes without saying that tourism is an important policy for the European Union, as the priority is maintaining Europe's standing as a leading destination. I think that it is really important to mention that the dynamic tourism sector directly and indirectly contributes to around 10% of EU GDP and represents 23 million jobs overall. Moreover, I believe that it is quite clear that the majority of the European tourism operator as SMEs, and that tourism destination must be able to count on tourism small and medium-sized enterprises in order to flourish. Hence, the importance we dedicate to tourism SMEs within the European institution. In particular, the promotion of a sustainable tourism model, as it was mentioned before, has been at the core of the European tourism policy launched by the Commission after the Lisbon Treaty. Since then, the European Commission is, amongst others, supporting initiatives and trends aimed at extending the tourism sector, facilitating the path toward a green and digital transition, whilst supporting SMEs in developing innovative and sustainable solutions. Still, we cannot, however, elaborate on European tourism policy's priorities or analyze tourism trends without remembering the instability resulting from the war in Ukraine and the difficulties and challenges brought about by the COVID-19 on a variety of tourism stakeholders, including SMEs and especially SMEs. Indeed, tourism has been one of the sectors most affected by the recent pandemic, and travel bans, lockdown, and safety concerns all contributed to curtailing our growth and development of the tourism ecosystem across the EU. I think that the worst of COVID, and let's hope that the worst of COVID is hopefully behind us, and within a policy framework, the European Commission published in February 2022 the transition pathway for tourism that was mentioned before by Antonia. This document invites the Commission and Member States in participation with relevant stakeholders to design a European agenda for tourism. I want to mention that the transition pathway for tourism sets out 27 areas of work to facilitate the green and digital transition. You keep hearing and listening more and more those keywords in order to improve the resilience of the EU tourism. This plan makes reference to the interconnections between tourism and other sectors and encourages a number of measures and actions to support its cross-cutting nature. This includes, for example, investment in circularity to reduce energy, waste, water, and pollution, and at the same time to better meet the increasing demand for sustainable tourism. Enhancement of data sharing practices, as well as investments in skill to ensure the availability of qualified workforce and attractive careers in the ecosystem. The ultimate objective is to unleash the power of Europe's SMEs to lead the twin transition. This strategy aims to increase the number of SMEs engaging in sustainable business practices, as well as the number of SMEs employing digital technology. What clearly emerged is that the competitiveness and growth of the EU tourism industry will largely depend on its capacity to support the twin transition of tourism towards sustainability and digitalization. SMEs make up for 99% of the European tourism industry. So in this context, I think that it is clear that our duty is to listen carefully to you, to what SMEs have to say, and to assist them where and when possible. In particular, in our executive agency in EISMEA, and in line with the Commission policy orientations, we have progressively contributed directly to the creation of new trans-European tourism offers. We have also facilitated the testing of new business models and demonstrated by concrete achievements, such as the dissemination of good practices, that tourism does not necessarily mean mass tourism in the most popular European destination. On the contrary, it can build on local values, tradition, and intangible heritage and enforce them. Tourism needs to be, in my opinion, managed wisely, which is why we try our utmost to launch, promote, and implement meaningful tourism policies and actions that are also aligned with the prevailing tourism trends. Nevertheless, it is acknowledged that for any SMEs transforming or even adjusting to their business model to facilitate the digital uptake, become greener, more competitive, and more resilient can be a challenging perspective, even more so within the European single market and internationally. For this reason, initiatives such as EISMEA yearly call for proposal, and TRACE was funded under one of our call launched in 2021, can also add value to their business and vision. One key message that I'd like to share with you today is that EISMEA, via different calls, has regularly provided financing opportunities for tourism stakeholders in the recent past. The thrust of each tourism calls varies every year, but regularly pays due regard to the digital and green transition. Just to give you some numbers, in the field of tourism, EISMEA, previous EASME, in the previous co-financing period, launched several calls for proposals to support the creation and promotion of transnational thematic tourism products. As a result, within the period 2014 and 2020, concerning the previous financing period and the COSME program, we have co-financed over 100 tourism projects through 12 different actions, with a total budget of around 27 million euros. What is also striking is the fact that the tourism budget per call increased from 6 million euros in 2019 to 9 million euros in 2020. But then under the single market program, so in the current financing period, to 12 million and to 20 million euros in 2021 and 2022. So at the end of the day, the total budget allocated for tourism actions is very attractive total of 60 million euros dedicated to tourism project over an 8-year period from 2014 and 2022. What we think it's even more striking is that our calls have attracted beneficiaries from practically all European member states, besides other non-EU countries that participated in COSME, showcasing further appeal that tourism is among European stakeholders. Also relevant is the fact that the importance of SME participation within EISMEA calls has recently been accentuated further in order to ensure that Europe small business are given additional direct opportunities to become more competitive whilst benefiting from European funding. As a matter of fact, EISMEA's recent call for proposal always dedicate a conspicuous amount to SMEs via direct financial support offered to the parties, and you as an SME in the TRACE project and the TRACE journey, you are receiving financial support to the parties. Such grants serves to also facilitate digital uptake by SMEs in this challenging time and provide training, networking, and certification opportunities which enhance the SMEs' competitive edge. To illustrate further, in the 19 and 2020 tourism call, 16 projects were funded and a minimum of 60 SMEs per project received a grant up to 10,000 euros each. In total, we counted that at least 1,350 SMEs received a grant specifically through these 16 projects, while in 2021 tourism call, and TRACE is one of them, we have funded 10 projects and a minimum of 80 SMEs will be financed per project, for TRACE even more. This will result in a minimum of 800 SMEs in total. But of course, we expect to have even more SMEs included in the financial scheme. As for example, TRACE, we support 100 SMEs, but we expect that more and more SMEs are involved by the actions directly and indirectly by the activities of our project. We have our other call that we have published in 2022 we have 6 projects funded, and in 2023, and more opportunity, of course, will emerge in the next year in order to support tourism and even more to support you, the SMEs. Now, without further ado, because I see that you have a very long list of very interesting contribution also from colleagues from the European Commission, I would like to thank you once again for your time, and also I would like to thank again the TRACE coordinator and the consortium for the invitation and for the work and for the implementation of the activities that they are doing within the framework of the TRACE project. I wish you a successful event, and I look forward to the fruitful discussion that insight that will emerge today. Thank you very much indeed. Antonia, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Marco, for your intervention. Okay, so I think that this intervention was very important because you see how many projects, how many enterprises are involved in the actions of the European Commission, promoted by the European Commission. However, this TRACE project for me is quite special because it really focuses on a topic that is the circular economy that is not so much well known in the field of tourism. And I'm happy that we have today some speakers, representative really of good practices, best practices in Europe. I'm talking about Erika, but also the other speakers that work in the sustainability field. So we know that sustainability means a lot of things, but the circular economy is really the way to go for real sustainability. So I think this project is quite unique in the panorama, let's say, of many different projects supported by the European Commission, and I hope that we will become like the front runners for creating really the network of creative, innovative, circular entrepreneurs, let's say, okay. So in our program, I think we are quite in the time of the break. So probably I will give the floor to Cinzia to introduce herself, her work, and also to probably introduce later the next panel. After, I will ask to the Regia again to put the slides of our intervention just to introduce TRACE for those people who are coming from Matera and probably didn't know about the project before. And yeah, Cinzia, the floor is yours now.
Thank you, Antonia, and good morning again to everybody. I'm very happy to share together this time, because time is precious for everybody, and to come to Matera, as you listened before from Mr. Nicoletti, so welcome, and from Vito Signati as well. Welcome to this very warm and hospitality city. Well, regarding the policy meeting of today, I would like to spend a few words to clarify why we are here and what are our expectations, because sometimes we participate, we attend events, and then we go back home. Okay, it was nice, was interesting. We had a good dinner, a good lunch, good networking, catering, and then that's it. So please keep in mind that today we are here with a very ambitious project and objectives. As Antonio anticipated, TRACE project, we would like to become a front runner, a driver towards the establishment of a European circular tourism ecosystem. So have a look at the title of the project, the acronym of TRACE. Sometimes we say TRACE, but even we don't remember why TRACE, what means TRACE. Have a look at the title. It's a transition, it's SMEs transition towards a circular tourism ecosystem, but at European level. That's why the reason why today we have also partners of the consortium of TRACE, which is based not only with Italian companies and CNR, the National Research Center of Italy, SPC, is the lead partner with Antonia as coordinator, and me since, let's say, few months. I'm also a co-project coordinator. I'm very delighted for that. But also we have partners from Romania, we had partners from Spain, from Cyprus, and from Belgium. So it's quite a transnational, huge dimension. And the expectation, so as I said, first of all, we bring together knowledge, competence, and also we want to raise motivation towards the SMEs today, the participants, thanks to the participation, the contribution coming from institutional level, EU institutional level. We will have in the second session an intervention from the European Commission, DG Environment, regarding the green certification Ecolabel, because as part of the process of circularity, also to get the certification means to be more trustable, to be more proud of it. So we want to really to explain in a simple way and showing more the benefits regarding the getting the certification. So what means and how in terms of technical way. So from the European level, European Commission to the national level, because each country has a national body which is representing the European Commission on the territory. And we have ISPRA, two ladies, expert ladies representing ISPRA, which is the national body who is appointed to deliver the certification Ecolabel in Italy. But also, we want also to take on board also other expertise and knowledgeable experiences regarding sustainability and circular tourism. So we will have, after the institutional panel and one technical panel, and at the end, one practical panel regarding the successful experiences, best practices that we are collecting from the ground. In terms of ambitious project, why? And that's how we'll conclude, and then we will give the floor to Antonia, who is going to present TRACE project, the overall picture of TRACE. Why? Because, as I said, we are not wasting time, we are not wasting energy. It's part of the philosophy of circularity, to reuse, to recycle. So we are reusing our time in the best. We want to capitalize this. So our ambitious idea is to bring together not only TRACE partner consortium, also other projects co-financed by the same, you were listening, Marco Iacuitto from EISMEA, co-financed by the same single market program since 2021. And also in between, let's say, also COSME, because the last part of COSME was also a bridge. So dealing with the same topic of sustainability, certification, green certification, and also this green transition, innovation, digital. So we want to capitalize those results together and to organize before the end of the project. This project will end in June 2025. In May 2025, we will have in Brussels, I live in Brussels, I'm a sustainable tourism expert. I'm a lawyer, but specialized in European Union law, but I'm not working as a lawyer, more in the field of European Union law. And in 27th of May, put in your agenda, save the date, 27th of May, we will have the European Tourism Forum in Brussels. We would like to organize a side event. We are working for this, but we need all of our efforts together. We have to join forces in Brussels the day after in order to start like the first milestone of the building the European circular tourism ecosystem, based not on the declaration, but based on the experiences coming and the results, deliverables coming from all the projects which are sharing the same common objectives. At the end of the story, we will ask also the commitment from the European Commission level and also the executive agency, and why not political level European Parliament, because we will need budget. It's only otherwise. They say they want to support the transition for tourist SMEs. It's true, but believe me, he said 1,300 SMEs in how many years? In 6 years, it's nothing. It's peanuts. It's ridiculous. So we need to take on board to establish a really critical mass, and they have to be committed, like they ask that us, we are committed to do the pledges and to be involved in this process. All together, co-creation, co-production, whatever they want to call, we are here, but we also need their commitment to support us. So that's the message I wanted to pass before we start with the different sessions. So please be focused, be also clear in mind that we are motivated to go ahead and enthusiastic with the passion that Vito was saying. We are passionate because we like what we do. We believe that we can make the difference. Thanks a lot. Antonia.
Okay, so we are more or less at the time of the break. So if you agree, I would take a break altogether. We have a coffee outside in the room. And then I will shortly introduce a TRACE project, and then we will start with the session at 5 minutes, okay? So that we recover a little bit the time, and we are almost in the on-time organization in Brussels style.
Exactly, please, that's something that efficiency, we have to be really efficient. We have to show that we are showcases that we are really on time.
Yes.
For the session online also. Thank you.
So, if we all agree, we take a break and then we come back in 10, maximum 15 minutes on the seat. Thank you.
Online for us. So thanks for the attention again. And again, I repeat, we are all here to listen, to learn, and to exchange views also afterwards. Thanks.
Okay, so thank you. I will be very short. Just to introduce the TRACE project for those who still don't know about it. Of course, it is, you know, it's a project co-funded by the European Commission. And as we have discussed also this morning, the aim of the project is to build a European circular tourism ecosystem together with 100 SMEs all over Europe and with a lot of experts and representatives of different institutions that are supporting the project. The consortium is made by 7 partners. The coordinator is the CNR National Research Council, and then we have valued partners from Belgium, the ISPC Brussels Management School that the enterprises present today know very well, our colleague Ruba Saleh and all the team of ISPC that has developed the capacity building program for the enterprises. So in the last months, we have had a nice, important program for enhancing the capacity, the skills, the knowledge of the entrepreneurs to go towards circular economy, building their business model, enhancing their business model for sustainability. So this program was led by our partner ISPC, and the enterprises are still working on it and also developing their sustainability plans within the project. Another partner is Iniziativa Cube that you also know because it's dealing with an important part of the project, which is the financial support. So this project has provided a grant to the 100 SMEs included, selected in the 5 countries. And we are working to support financially and not only through capacity building the enterprises participating. Then we have our partners in Romania, Northeast Romania Development Agency that is today present, Cyprus partner of Larnaca and Famagosta Development Agency, Italy, APT Basilicata who is hosting today, Agency of Territorial Promotion, and the provincial government of Teruel, and we have today Laura and Barbara, our partners from Spain. So in all those countries, we have organized meetings, study visits, matchmaking events, so all activities directed towards entrepreneurs and that aim to create this link, to create this network and this exchange, because we are learning from each other. And we are also, as a consortium, learning a lot from the enterprises. So today we will discuss about also the issues, the problems the barriers that entrepreneurs have in reaching sustainability levels and what can be done also based on our experience with so many entrepreneurs. The objectives, you know that of the project is to enhance the skills and the capacity, but also the adoption of sustainability frameworks and tools like certifications, which is a very important aspect because we know today everyone is talking about sustainability and everyone is claiming that is sustainable, we're doing that and that, but what is the real way to demonstrate also to your target audience that your sustainability action is real and it's not like greenwashing or whatever. The certification is one of the aspects very important in this project, and the policy meeting today is focused on this because it's the way in which we can demonstrate to our target audience what we are doing and how serious is our work, of course. And we are also building partnerships and agreements in all the countries involved so that we strengthen this collaboration. The third-party financing, we have already talked about this, so we hope that this opportunity will be valued from by the entrepreneurs to really work with experts and enhance their capacity also to access the different certification available. And this is our roadmap. So just to conclude about TRACE, and then I give the floor, of course, to the speakers. We are building a roadmap that will not end with the project, but we are building the conditions through which this network can continue working even after the project. So we're not stopping, let's say, in June 2025, but all the partners involved are committed to continue and support the enterprises, and we have the support of the Chamber of Commerce, of the networks, Europe Enterprise Network, of the different organizations all over Europe. So we really want to take the first steps that will not be the last ones together. Okay, so that said, I thank you very much for your attention, and I give the floor to Cinzia to moderate this important session.
Thanks, Antonia, thank you. And now it's the time to listen from the European Commission, who is responsible in DG Environment for the certification Ecolabel. And just one word regarding the value of this certification. Is the only one based on a juridical framework because it's established by a regulation. So just to keep in mind that in the huge framework of certification, the Ecolabel and EMAS are the ones based on juridical documents, so like regulations, so it's official law. So I give the floor to our now representative of the European Commission, Mrs. Silvia Ferratini, DG Environment, and she is responsible in the office just for Ecolabel, and she will explain us how Ecolabel can generate benefits, in particular to the SMEs certified in Europe. So we will have a perspective at European level, of course, but also is also time for us, in case we want to know more, to listen and to ask questions after her presentation, so from the audience. I don't know if it's possible to see Angela. Silvia, good morning. How are you? Good. It's cold in Brussels.
Good morning, everybody.
Yes. Today it should be very cold in Brussels. Yes, it was hard raining. Today, I guess it's cold. So that we are here. You are missing a very warm environment here in Matera. So it's a pity that you are not here with us. But
I know I'm missing a wonderful city and a wonderful location, as I see.
Indeed, indeed. Silvia, we are all here to hear now from you because we know that you are very expert in this field of eco-label, and we are listening from you now your presentation. And please try to also to keep the 10 minutes in mind that we have for the presentation, and we will have some time for questions afterwards. Thanks a lot, Silvia.
Yes, please, if the technical colleagues can give the access to the sharing button.
Yeah, I think, the technical are here to help you.
Because I cannot share at the moment.
Can you do for her?
No, I can share, but I have to be enabled.
Ah, do you have to give the to allow her? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. I want to remind you that this session is specifically the session at institutional level, and the title of the session, for those who don't have the program, is Environmental Certification for Tourism Sector, Procedures, Achievements, and Benefits. Just to remind that we are focusing on these topics.
Okay, you should see my screen, right? Yes.
Good. You can go ahead, please. We see very well, Silvia.
Okay, perfect. So thank you, Cinzia, and thank you, everybody, for giving me the opportunity of being here today, of course, even if virtually, but it's also very much appreciated. So today I will give an overview of the EU Ecolabel certification and the opportunity it offers. For the ones that are not familiar with the EU Ecolabel, just a couple of words. As Cinzia was mentioning, it is the official EU voluntary label of environmental excellence since 1992. And it can be awarded to best-in-class and high-quality products, so either services or goods that are excellent in terms of environmental performance and are placed on the EU market. So in case of tourist accommodations, they can be located worldwide, but they need to advertise the services and offer their services to the EU citizens. It's a reliable and trustworthy eco-label. Because in order to get awarded, the goods or the services have to comply with a set of multi-criteria that are established through a life cycle and a scientific approach in an open and transparent and multi-stakeholder process that is involving really all the interested parties. And what is also very important is that Ecolabel is third-party verified. So it's what we are calling in jargon an ISO 14024 Type 1 Ecolabel, so one of the most reliable ecolabels that you have in the market. It's also important to highlight that it was also mentioned today that let's say promoting the ecolabel and uptaking the ecolabel is also one of the means to contribute to the objective of the tourist transition pathway and the tourism agenda 2030, in which is really explicitly written that there is a willingness to promote the further uptake of the scheme. Now, okay, why are we today talking about the EU Ecolabel? First of all, because conscious travelers are more and more looking for accommodations that are making efforts to reduce the environmental impacts. But at the same time, also tourist accommodation themselves would like to take an active role in the green transition in a way that is also boosting their competitiveness and resilience. And in this framework, what are the opportunities offered by the EU Ecolabel? So first of all, we can say that the EU Ecolabel empowers sustainability. Why? Because if you think and if you have a look at what the criteria are meaning and are requesting, they are ensuring, let's say, an optimized environmental management of the accommodation. And the criteria are requiring a reduced energy and water consumption, reduce CO2 emissions, reduce the use of chemicals and pesticides, reduce waste generation, including food waste, and reduce emissions from transport. In this way, we can say that in a way, the Ecolabel is empowering the market actors, so the hotel managers, the hotel structures, but also the consumers, by choosing the Ecolabel to take an active part in the transition towards a circular, clean, and carbon neutral economy. At the same time, the Ecolabel brings resilience and competitiveness. Why? Because the Ecolabel is attracting travelers who recognize the logo, and it's the only wide pan-European label that as it emerged, and also from a recent Eurobarometer survey that we did in 2023, is increasingly getting recognized and demanded by EU citizens. At the same time, the environmental engagement creates customers' loyalty. So customers are, let's say, part of the green movement and willing to contribute and to come back. And also is motivating the staff. The staff is happy to take part of a bigger, let's say, project. And also, we do not have to forget that environmental savings are bringing financial savings. If you start to, let's say, use less energy, use less water, pay less taxes on waste, and so on, this is going to, let's say, decrease your bills. At the same time, from a legal perspective, we can say that also the Ecolabel is a safe investment because it's already complying with new and forthcoming legislation on sustainability labels. So there is an important directive that is called Empowering Consumers in the Green Transition that is now in the process of being transposed from EU legislation to national legislation, so it will become national law. It is an amendment of the Unfair Commercial Practice Directive. And in this directive, it is stated that the EU Ecolabel is recognized as a sort of reliable third-party certification that is going to be allowed on the market. Whereas, very importantly, the sustainability labels that are not based on a certification scheme or are not established by public authorities will be forbidden. So Ecolabel is going to stay and has been recognized as a reliable one. Moreover, it has been recognized as one of the few means to demonstrate generic claims on overall environmental excellence. This means that in the future, if you would like your hotel to be called green, ecological, environmentally friendly, it will need to be awarded with the EU Ecolabel or a nationally or an officially recognized label. Otherwise, you will not be able to do such a statement on overall environmental preference. There is also another piece of legislation that is under preparation. It's called the Green Claims Directive. It has been proposed by the Commission several months ago, and now it's in the process of, let's say, co-decision with the Parliament and the Council. And this legislation is aiming at setting additional rules on how voluntary information about goods and services is communicated to consumers when they are about their environmental performance, and it is adding some rules on how the information needs to be substantiated and how to be communicated. And most importantly, the Ecolabel is exempted by this legislation because it is already regulated by EU law that is setting very similar requirement on the robustness and reliability of the scheme. Therefore, allow me to say that I think that the Ecolabel is the best choice to certify that an accommodation is truly sustainable. If you would like to have a look at the market and how many certified accommodation there are now, they are almost 800. And there are several information that we can retrieve from this graph. First of all, is that since the last revision of the criteria and their entry into force in March 2019, we had a sort of steadily increase in the tourist amount of tourist accommodations. But at the same time, we have seen that especially in the first years, this increase is a little bit slow. And why this increase has been a little bit slow is that we believe that the hotels and accommodation that were making the effort of going for such a demanding and reliable certification were not having a sufficient return on investment. And this is because they didn't have a proper visibility on the market. And on this, we are working at the moment, and I will come back later. Another aspect that I would like to highlight is that the majority of Ecolabel tourist accommodation are SMEs. I have the information of 616 of the 800 that we have now. And on this one, I had information that 328 are micro enterprises, 273 are SMEs, and only 15 are large company. So when sometimes they come to me saying, but for the SME, it's too difficult, they cannot get it, it's not interesting. This is not true, because the majority of our license holders are SMEs. If you would like to have an overview at a European level on the distribution of eco-label license holders, the majority of them are in France. And France has carried out supporting measures for increasing uptake, including funding opportunities disbursed at national level that were always also covering the application cost for the SMEs, and they were also proposing a network of consultants that could help hotels in the application process. This is why the numbers came high very recently. The second country is Austria, because they are also exploiting synergy with the Austrian eco-label, so encouraging and facilitating the uptake of both labels at the same time. And then the third one is Italy, and I'm happy here that we have the Italian competent body today, and followed by Slovenia. And then, okay, so we can say that the most, let's say, highest number are concentrated in a few countries. In order to, we are of course aware that the numbers are increasing, have been increasing during COVID times as well, but the potential to untap is still very big. And that's why we are carrying out at commission level, but also in cooperation with the national authorities, several, let's say, activities. So we have communication activities, like we have a new eco-label catalog. We have a free database on the Youth Open Data Portal that is allowing an exchange of data with other, let's say, database or other portals. And I'm coming back on this a bit later. We have a webinar. Sorry, we have a website. We are carrying out periodically webinars to explain the criteria and the label more in depth to interested stakeholders. And we are very often publishing on social media. We are also publishing articles, success stories, and so on. At the same time, from our side, we are trying to mobilize funding on the promotion of the EU Ecolabel. We do not have special funding in our unit, but we are trying to include the possibility of funding to promote the uptake of the EU Ecolabel, to increase awareness in other fundings. We have talked later, before about the single market programs. We have live funding, and we have also, let's say, TIEX funding that are allowing the exchange of best practices among public authorities. At the same time, there is possibility to increase the visibility of EU Ecolabel accommodation by making a pledge under the tourist transition pathway. And we are also establishing partnership with big actors on the market, such as Booking, such as Last Minute. We have also started a dialogue with TripAdvisor in order for them to increase the visibility of EU Ecolabel certified accommodation. So this is a big, a very quick overview of the type of article we are also, let's say, publishing, like success stories. This is the webinar. This is our social media account, and the one on the bottom are success stories on EU Ecolabel accommodation that were published by Booking.com in the Click magazine. That is the magazine that is, let's say, for their partners. So that is showcasing best success stories to other, let's say, hotels that are part of the Booking network. With Booking, I wanted also to mention that we are collaborating since quite a few years in order to increase the visibility of EU Ecolabel accommodation for the accommodations that are displayed in Europe, in Booking. And Booking has established now a filter in the travel booking portal, through which, let's say, interested customers can choose and filter accommodation that have a sustainability certification. And when this is the case, So they can filter here for sustainability certification. And when they have found accommodation that have this sustainability accommodation, this hotel will have here a sort of banner, and by clicking on it, they will be displayed with certifications they have been awarded. We are also working with Booking at making possible that the EU Ecolabel logo is displayed. It's not now the case, but it's going to be the case probably in the future. And just to say that as Booking has committed to increase the offer, let's say, of sustainable certification, they are also working at a project in supporting the accommodation by making it easier to take the next steps on their sustainability journey. In the sense they are asking, submitting a questionnaire to the accommodations, and they are, let's say, based on the result of these questionnaires, providing information on the certification schemes that could be suitable for them, that could be available, and they are redirecting them towards us, for instance, or towards other certification. So this is for the moment, it's all from me, and do not hesitate to ask me question or reach me in another moment. I have included at the end of my presentation, like suitable links for the ones that would like to get more information. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Silvia. Can we leave Silvia in the screen, because we will have a question after. So Silvia, you provided a very huge and deep insight about Ecolabel certification from different perspectives, including from the EU law perspective, which is very important to take into account. But also, as you remember, she was also presenting very clearly the benefits and the advantages for the tourist SMEs, which are getting the certification in terms of empowering the environmental aspect, but also empowering the consumers. It creates customer loyalty, just to summarize some of them, and also to create this financial saving, so which is important, because most of the SMEs, especially the micro enterprises, they have a problem in terms of financial investments. They have to make efforts. And she was explaining very clearly also the criteria, how important it is to fill all these criteria, because based on the criteria, the SMEs, they can get this environmental management, let's say positive environmental management, which can generate trust. And Silvia, we will make a question later on to you, if you can listen also from the other speakers now. And also it's important what she said about the synergies between environmental and tourism. Already we see that she's connected with the policy of the DG GROW, which is the only DG at the European Commission linked with the tourism ecosystem. So it's important that you are also showing the synergies and the complementarities between European Transition Pathway, the pledges, and the European Agenda 2030, because it's a key component of the policy at European level to establish synergies and to show the complementarities among the interdisciplinary complementarities among the sector. Thanks a lot, Silvia. It was very clear. We will share, if you allow us, the presentation with our participant, with our also partner, because we have in our website, in TRACE website, we download also all the presentation of today policy meeting. Please stay there, don't leave, stay with us. We will we come back to you later on. And now I will give the floor to another representative. We jumped from the Ecolabel to another certification, but then we will come back to Ecolabel as well. The certification for the travel agencies and tour operator. And you know, there is this important also certification, which is Travel Life. We have here the pleasure to host, to have in presence the representative of the Travel Life in Italy. And so I give the floor to Mrs. Silvia Muto-Nardone, who is, as I said, the Travel Life representative for Italy. And the title of her presentation is Travel Life Sustainability, Best Practices Tailored for Tourist SMEs. We were really stressing all the speakers to highlight more the benefits, because we don't want to bother the SMEs. We want to encourage them to be part of this process of these green transitions. Thanks, Silvia. So please go ahead.
Okay, so good morning to everybody. Thank you, Cinzia, and thank you, Antonia, to invite me today. And thanks to you all for making this meeting possible. My name is Silvia Muto-Nardone, and although I'm here as a representative of Travel Life, I would like to talk to you today as a colleague. Having been working for the travel business for many years, for more than 40 years, first as a sales and marketing manager for different Italian tour operator, and then in Central and South America, where I have founded my own DMC. And was exactly at that time, so talking about early 90, that I've been applying best practice in tourism without knowing that. So, and that was the approach, and that's will improve the interest on this matter to me. So what is Travel Life? Travel Life is definitely a specific certification for travel agency, tour operator, and DMC, excursion organization, and all tourism enterprise really committed to run their business in a sustainable way. Travel Life is also the only initiative providing best practice, specialized profile to small and medium enterprise in the order to reduce their impact on the environment, and especially on host community. And the idea is just to offer as well benefit and tools to optimize at the same time the relationship between buyers and sellers. So to work better together and to arrange a sustainable supply chain, just because we need definitely to be consistent with what we claim and what we promise to our customers. So here I think today there are different travel agents, tour operator, and people working the travel business. And at the same time, it's quite usual to be seller and buyers. And what we discover during our activity in Travel Life, that there is quite no sense to have a sustainable destination or sustainable product if the company pointed to promote destination and sustainable authors are not applying in their daily operation basic sustainable criteria. So that's, we think it's time that we start to talk the same language and try to help each other to share experience. And of course, certification may be one instrument, one tool that can help us to stop doing over-tourism, and of course, not to be confused as a greenwasher from our customers. So, but just because I'm coming back from the travel industry, I would like to I feel the need to clarify three definitely important aspects that I think in our sector, they are not definitely so clear yet. So first of all, sustainability is not only an environmental issue. And when I need to resume what sustainability is, I normally use this expression, it's just to make profit with a greater concern, sorry. Okay. Back. No, ok, the other way. Ho cambiato tutto. Non so dove sta. Ok. Non lo so dove è andato a finire, sono andata avanti, scusate. Non va. Non mi sta bloccando. Here we are. So it's not so only a sustainable environment issue, we say. What we say is just to make a profit, because definitely we can do that. We are allowed to do profit. That's the reason why we are all here, although we are green. But we have to start to do it with more attention about how we do it. So with more, with a greater concern about the planet and about people. And when we talk about people, we're not talking only about our customers. Sometimes we forget we have to talk about all our stakeholders. In particular, we're talking about our staff and our providers. Sometimes we use and spend a lot of effort to fidelize and to get loyalty from the market, from our customer, but we do very little to our to build up a stronger relationship and better condition, work condition to our staff and our suppliers. So, and another aspect, so we see if I'm going in the right direction. Yes, okay. The second aspect is that sustainable tourism is not a niche market. Especially in Italy, we have definitely linked sustainable tourism with outdoor activities, borghi, cammini, hiking, slow tourism, and that we're not talking about the niche of the kind of product and special, but definitely in international concept that sustainable tourism is better way, a model to manage our business, a governance model. And this have to be applied to all kinds of tourism. And this concept have been clarified many years ago, almost 20 years ago, from World Tourism Organization, when they say that sustainable tourism have to be applied to all kinds of tourism, and especially mass tourism, just to prevent their big impact. So the other aspect, definitely, that's always talking about from the point of view of the travel and tourist operator and travel agency aspect, we have to be honest that when we think about certification, is something, a bureaucratic stuff that we need to know, to do. Everyone, we want to get funds, easy loans, or have a tax benefit, or sometimes just to have a sticker to show off. But get this sticker, this label, does not make us more sustainable. So definitely certification, we say, are not an achievement, but a starting point. As not to be our final goal, but the kickoff to start doing things better and all certification, every kind of certification can be the leading way to make a profit by a different attention about the environment and of course people, and where ethics, transparency, equity, empathy, and inclusion should be applied not only to customers, but especially as well to employees and suppliers. So why, what is Travel Life? That's the reason, because Travel Life it's just not only certification, but is an initiative and a complete program offering courses, training, and tools, method, especially suggested management program that help us to make our activity in a socially and environmentally friendly manner. And of course, we have to be aware that customers change, and all of them, especially new generation, want more responsible product and more ethical companies. And Travel Life is a sort of a big community all around the world. We are present in more than 100 countries. We had at the present 1,000 more members. And we are supported by the biggest travel trade association. And we offer a frame, a complete frame about the best sustainable tourist standard that are applying in the business. The reason why is a complete initiative is just because we offer 18 online courses, a platform that lead us through different steps of certification and different tools to use, and that can help you to start introducing your company, especially if you're a small and medium enterprise, and a management system program that sometimes we think it's something useful for bigger company, but it definitely can help us to manage our organization in a different way. The system, the management system that we propose in Travel Life includes 4 main areas regarding the stakeholders we have to talk to. And first of all, of course, it's our staff. And so we're talking about office operation. We are talking about customers' rights, awareness, and the conduct that they have as well when they visit our destination, as well as suppliers and the destination we decided to offer. So the kind of model that we use is that a plan, do, check, and act cycle that you can see on the left side. And this model is especially is a Deming cycle, known as a Deming cycle. It's specialized, it was in the past used especially to implement quality in the different process production. And now they are start to be well used by a sustainability-oriented company, because implement and help to generate change and continuous improvement. So the certification process is quite easy. It includes 3 steps where we are a staff, a coach staff, coach, Travel Life coach leads and follow the agency, the tour operator organization they want to apply to. And we used to offer them to follow a self-managed platform. In this platform, they can start to have in the first level all the information about their impact, and they have to point sustainability manager inside the company, and then they start to make a base assessment about their performance regarding sustainability criteria. The second step, when they reach the partner status, that it means they comply with the first more important requirement we ask to, and they have a desk audit. So there is no a physical audit by an auditor, but just they have the way to make a report that we check. The third level is when they reach the certification, and so the certified status, that it means they apply with more requirement, and of course they will have be submitted to a third party auditors. Okay, join and be member of Travel Life is quite simple, because we don't have the same cost that with normally certification we think they have. So this, it's simple and convenient, because we have just a membership that the company have to pay, and is the price, the cost is calculated about the number of the full-time employees, so it's so fair, and big company pay more than less one. And as you say, if you have less than 25 full-time employees, you pay €300 every year. So that's now all for now, and thank you very much, and I'm at your disposal during the day, and of course at the email anytime. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thanks a lot, Olivia. And as you can see, from a different perspective, Travel Life is targeting tour operator and travel agencies, but the approach is not, as she said, not only a certification approach, but seems more oriented to involve customers, stakeholders, destinations, and also taking into account different aspects such as equity, transparency, and generating changes on the basis of these criteria that the travel agency and tour operator they can get, and based also on the management system providing a model. So it seems that Travel Life, it's a kind of umbrella certification which can help tour operator and travel agencies to get more into the process of sustainability, but also receiving a lot of advantages and connecting also the tour operator, travel agency with the territory, with the destination, and with the customers. And she was also explaining also the financial part, which is part of the process, because the efforts that we required to the SMEs is also at the beginning of the process, also financial, so they have to invest some money. But it seems that the benefits are higher than the investment at the end. And I will also ask for Livia later on a question, but now it's time to give the floor to the competent body of Ecolabel. We go back to Ecolabel. We should know that Ecolabel as a European certification is based on the national also competent bodies across Europe. We have the example now from ISPRA from Italy. I will give the floor to Mrs. Astrid. Sorry, because I want to read carefully the family name and all the full competent. So Mrs. Astrid Raudner and Mrs. Piera Pellegrino. So they are representing ISPRA, the National Italian Environmental Organization, which is linked with the Ministry of Environment, right? So it's also a public body, and they are competent for Ecolabel. And they will present in their also PowerPoint the role of European Ecolabel certification and promoting the transition to sustainable tourism. Again, we want to have this pragmatic approach. That's very important to clarify. It's we have I will say also to Silvia, she's listened to us. We have a huge representation from SMEs, also micro from Romania. And it seems from the graphic, the statistic that in Romania, only 2 out of 800 in Europe, they got the eco-label, which is a problem or can be an opportunity from today on to clarify how to get this certification in the next coming month. We will see. We will want to be optimistic. So now let's give the floor to the colleagues from ISPRA, please. Yeah, you can come here.
Thank you. Thank you, Cinzia, for the invitation, and good morning and welcome to everyone. And I'm here with my 2 colleagues from ISPRA. We are working on the ecolabel in the ecolabel certification team and do the assessment for Italy also for products and services, tourist services. And yes, we noted also that the request and the interest in certificated products is growing. And EU Ecolabel was launched already 30 years ago to promote environmental excellent products. And it's an ISO type 1 quality mark, which means that it's third-party verified and it's voluntary. It aims at to distinguish products and services with reduced environmental impact throughout the entire life cycle, with guaranteeing anyway high performance standards. And this makes it a very reliable tool for consumers because we can guarantee that there's respect for the environment and that anyway the quality of the product, the efficiency of the product is not reduced. It's equivalent to any other product. And yes, the EU Ecolabel is based on EU regulation. And for details like criteria and very more detailed is the decision, EU decision. And the decision for tourism is EU decision number 175 from 2017. And the decision defines the categories of use of the label, which corresponds in the case of tourism to the NACE categories. That's the statistical classification of economic activities in the European community. And this facilitates the data harmonization and the statistical elaboration. So we have good data also of the products and services. The categories covered are hotels and similar establishments, holiday and other short stay accommodation and campsites, and include also ancillary services such as food services, leisure or fitness facilities, spaces for conferences and so on. I just give you some dates about the distribution of the certification. To date, Italy has 76 tourist accommodation services certified, while in Europe, as we have seen, there are nearly 800. And as illustrated in the graphic, the category of hotels represents the largest share in both Italy and Europe, and followed by campsites. In Italy, the first certifications of tourist accommodation services date back to 2004. From 2007 onwards, there has been a significant increase in certifications, partly to regional financial incentives, as we will see later. The collapse in the number of certifications in 2018 was due to the introduction of the current EC decision, which meant that all certified tourist accommodations had to renew the application. That means that they had to start again the certification process. And then 2020, there has been the pandemic event, and with lockdown and very stringent measures that hit very hard the sector and the economy in general. And since 2021, we see there's an increase and a new interest in certification. And the next chart illustrates the regional distribution of certified structures in Italy, and also the size of the certified companies. As we already heard, that micro companies are the most part of certification, followed by small, medium enterprises. And as you can see, the distribution of the certified structures is very different. And this depends mainly because there have been regional incentives. In Trentino Alto Adige and in Sicily, there have been good regional incentives to modernize, to help structures to modernize. And the modernization should have been also a sustainable modernization, including energy efficiency and an update of the structures. And yes, the EU Ecolabel certification is different from other labels used in the tourism sector because it focuses on the most relevant environmental aspects like energy efficiency and water savings and waste management. We also check social aspects and promote social aspects, but to a much lesser extent respect to other type of labels. Or yes. And the observed consumption trends justify this focus that we have and on the environmental part. A study by the Joint European Research Center, Jersey, found that it's worth noting that energy and water use in accommodation facilities have an important impact on consumption and on running costs. The highest impact of energy is to site heating and cooling, nearly 50%, followed by water heating and lighting. Using water in tourist accommodation is also a very big environmental issue, and it can make up about 10% of hotel bills. But this can vary a lot between the type of hotels. It depends on whether they have a swimming pool or laundry service or wellness facilities. The main benefits of the EU Ecolabel are, as we already heard, that it's an internationally recognized certification. It's really a trusted source for reliable guidance on eco-friendly, high-quality alternatives to traditional hotels and campsites. EU Ecolabel helps accommodation providers manage the environmental impact, track their resource use, and save money in this way. Many times we don't recognize very much this aspect, but modernization, even if it has an initial cost of investment and so on, in the long run, it's saving money. It means saving money. And EU Ecolabel promotes eco-innovation and contributes to the EU goal of climate neutrality by 2050 and to the circular economy, and helps anyway also the companies to follow and respect and comply to the European legislation. And finally, it's a great way to get funding because many times funding is it asks certification or they approve that the money is used in a very in a good way, in a sustainable way. And how relate the assessment criteria to the benefits? The evaluation criteria we consider are grouped in 5 main categories. The criteria related to environmental management are very important for higher quality tourism. This is due to qualified and motivated personnel who are aware of resource use and waste generation, and due to regular monitoring of key indicators. And most of the criteria we consider and we check are criteria related to the efficient use of water and energy. As this offers also the greatest environmental and economic benefits with potential savings up to 50%. And wastewater reduction criteria focus on avoiding disposable and single-use packaging for food and toiletries, and on purchasing EU Ecolabel certified products, in particular detergents, and to reduce in this way the use of chemicals that go in the wastewater. And the other criteria category we consider is the promotion of the region's artistic, cultural, and natural heritage, as well as the provision of local organic food and sustainable activities related to the region. The next slides provide a more detailed overview of the criteria. As you can see, the 5 categories organized into 22 mandatory and 45 optional criteria, and as they are described in the EC decision. And I don't want to speak now about it because we don't have the time. And I just want to tell you that to get the EU Ecolabel, accommodation providers must meet the 22 mandatory criteria and get at least 20 points from fulfilling additional criteria that are relevant for the specific structure. And the good news is that the certification process is straightforward and simple. The first step is to check if your service can be certified under the current EC decision. And then you just have to download the application package from the EU Ecolabel website, register to ECAT, the European Catalogue of Certified Products and Services, and submit the application file to the competent body. Then, in the case of Italy, ISPRA will assess the documentation and do an on-site verification. If all this goes well, the competent body will stipulate the contract. Once the contract has been registered by the applicant, the competent body will award the EU Ecolabel, and that's it. The certification costs include an application or renewal fee and an annual fee that depend on the company size. If the company already has another important certification like AMAS or ISO 14001, a discount will be applied. And all the documents you need for application you can find in the application package on the EU Ecolabel website, and this includes a user manual that explains step by step how to get the EU Ecolabel license and how to comply with the legislation and criteria, a checklist and a verification form that includes an application form, the declaration for mandatory and optional criteria, an automatic calculation of the score for the optional criteria, and templates for the monitoring of energy, water, waste, chemicals, and isotype 1 label products. At ISPRA, we recognize and we work we recognize that the environmental sustainability must start with the choices of individual consumers. With this in mind, we work to promote the value of the EU Ecolabel as a reliable tool. Our EU Ecolabel team employs a range of strategies to promote the certification in 2024. We participated in conferences, conducted training courses, produced scientific material and publications for dissemination and awareness raising. And as in previous years, we also took part in the European Night of Researchers, running activities to engage children and young people with the EU Ecolabel. So this is a short overview of our activities. And if you have more questions and so on, here are our contact details. And thank you for your attention.
Thanks a lot, Astrid. It was very, very detailed, analytical explanation about how Ecolabel at the national level works. And also, Astrid, she was providing also a clear overview, or not only related to the technical aspect, like the final part with the financial investment, how much they have to pay for the process, but also she was also explaining very well the links between the Ecolabel certification and the European policies. For example, the way to achieve the Ecolabel can help SMEs to boost the climate neutrality goal by 2050, because we all are in the same boat, and climate change is one of the issues, current issues. We are very aware about this. And also she was explaining very well the criteria from the environmental perspective, the management assessment with the criteria linked with energy consumption, water, and also waste food. Those are the main component of environmental aspect, and how important it is to collect information, to be aware, and to improve the process, the management, thanks to this official criteria. It's important to consider that the criteria every 5 years at European level are revised, and the last was in 2019, the last revision, I guess. And this year we will have the new one, or next year. Updated, yeah, that's important, yeah. 2019 was a good moment, yeah, okay. You can go on. That's also the energy label, and also it's also important what she was explaining, yeah, about also the target of the SMEs that they can get Ecolabel. So it's quite large, not only hotels but also camping and also different small also companies. It's a very bed and breakfast included, and it's such a shame that in Italy, Rome, it's the capital of Italy, doesn't have any Ecolabel, and Italy, I mean, Rome is hosting a lot of events, and if we think about the energy consumption, especially during the summer, the cooling, then we can generate blackout because there are many tourists, over tourism, and then that's a huge problem. So anyway, that was very interesting, and I'm sure that now the level of curiosity and motivation is getting higher from the audience. And well, now it's time to ask a few questions quickly to the speakers. I will start with a general question to all of you. And then please, in 1 minute, try to reply to 1 minute each. The general question is to all of you, the speaker of this panel, and it's related to how should the certification system with environmental, social, and economic impacts. Already Astrid, she said that Ecolabel is more environmental oriented, but there are also social and economic aspects, be adapted for small tourist enterprises, making the process simple, clear, and not overly expensive, because sometimes you see wherever there are incentives from the public sector to the SMEs, they get more certification. So the link, the connection between financial incentives and certification is very strong. So that's the general question to all of you. I will start with Silvia. She's still online. She's listening, and then I give the floor to the other speakers. And then I have a specific question for all of you, but also very quick. And then we change panel because it's quite, we are running a little late. So please, can we give the screen to Silvia?
Hello, can you hear me? Yes.
We can hear but not see you.
Thank you. So I hear and I heard even recently the issue of the difficulties of the SMEs in uptaking a scheme like the EU Ecolabel. The difficulty mainly, let's say, relying on the difficulty in understanding the criteria. Probably it's true that the bureaucratic language to which we are very much used is not very straightforward for all the operators in the market. And the good news is that we are starting the revision of the EU Ecolabel criteria for tourist accommodations in 2025. So in the context of this revision process that is going to last at least 2.5 years, we are going to really assess the possibility to simplify the criteria and simplify the understanding of the criteria for SMEs. So this is something that indeed we are very keen on. And sometimes we have seen, as you said, Cinzia, that in the places, in the countries, in the region where some assistance was there, maybe not only a financial assistance, but maybe an assistance in terms of capacity. Sometimes SMEs need a simple, some consultants that can just guide them through the application process, can just explain the application process in simple terms, or the criteria in simple terms. So this is very useful. So to the national authorities that are here today, and maybe to the national authorities that are following, a plea would be to make available this kind of support. And of course, the cost, in my opinion, as it was also explained by my colleagues, my Italian colleagues, is that I don't think it is a barrier, because actually the costs are quite low, especially for SMEs. But what is most important is a return on the investment. So we have to make sure that all together, all the tourism actor, tourism operator, portals, websites, and so on, give visibility to the hotels that are making the efforts to go for such a certification. Because if they have a return on investment, the costs are really minor.
Great, very, very clear, Silvia. I think we all agree what she said. It's very, very relevant what she said, and we are there. We are getting the message in a very, very clear way. So no worry, we will take into account, and it's very important really to consider the technical support, not only the financial. That's the reason why a project like TRACE, they are financing with this TRACE support program, the technical expertise to guide the SMEs towards this transition. So it's very important. Thank you, Silvia. Very, very, very useful what you said. And when the criteria will be more or less approved? You don't know when, in particular, the revision of criteria?
Yes, because the current criteria are in the process of being extended until the end of 2027. So we have to have the new ones by then.
Okay, great. So like Astrid, she said, so until 2027, we'll keep the same criteria as we have now since 2019, right? The revision, the decision 2019.
It was from 2017, but it was still
17, yeah.
To use the old criteria until the end of 2018.
Okay, perfect. We know now what criteria we have to use for. So I give the floor to the other speaker for the same question, but then I'm afraid that we don't have time to the single question because it's late. So we close the session with the general one, with the question to, I start with Livia, the same question. Do you remember the question or do we have to repeat? Yeah.
I think that our approach in Travel Life is just to make this simple and especially have a platform and online courses that you can give you the possibility, the chance to do everything on your own. What we see that sometimes a company, travel company, they don't have enough time to dedicate to this process. So that's the reason why the other project we have for travel capacity building was SUS Tour, have a lot of success because thanks to the European Fund, Travel Life Coach, they could help agencies, the travel agency, the applicant, just to follow strictly timetable. So they were pushed to, you know, do work on this, and that's good help.
Thanks, Silvia. I see that there is a kind of alignment about this necessity to have a travel, to have a guide and to have support. Yeah, you want a question? Ah.
Not only environmental issue and the people and cross climate. In this way, as we have to take importance for castles, panoramas, and all the walkings and bikes, which is the important thing to take in the attention is the destinations, the community, or the customer. I would like at which person or which situation you give most important, the more important.
All of them, definitely best practice in Travel Life are talking about all the different things. So the relationship with the host community, doing things better and limited your impact in your activity and provide, avoid to be an over-tourism maker. And communication to customers, because at the same time we have to, sometimes we have to educate them to respect the different landscape and have a good behavior. And depending which, from the country where they are coming from, because we have different culture around that. So if we have people coming from north of Europe, sometimes they are well prepared, but if we have Americans and other markets, so sometimes we have the problem that sometimes they confuse our best practice with bad service. It's the biggest problem that we have to solve it. And the other thing is just to have the right and transparent communication, of course.
Thank you for the clarification also from Olivia to the question, because she represented travel agency, so then it's the right target for you. And now I give the floor to Astrid and Piera for their reply for the same question. But we see that we are more or less on the same boat. We are explaining the same important things.
We try to work harder on the visibility and to improve our website. It's something that it's something difficult for us to do in summer, but we try to make it better to use for customers and for the business that want to apply, to make it easier to get orientated, because there's a lot of information, you know. So it's this is the difficulty, because we want to put all the information for whoever wants to come to visit the site of, and it's not only EU Ecolabel. We are inside of a huge institute that is working on monitoring research. So to organize all this information is difficult and give it the right place on the site.
So great. Now we can summarize in 3-4 keywords what the speakers they said, starting from Silvia. She was highlighting the importance in particular for the return on investment and visibility about ecolabel from the European perspective. This is very crucial. As well, Livia, she was explaining the importance of coaching and guiding and also simplifying the procedure and the process to get the certification. And Astrid also was highlighting the importance of streamlining the information and also to get more visibility as well. So information is also important because the approach must be easygoing, not complicated. And sometimes it's a mess to understand in a lot of information, which are the most relevant for us. So thanks a lot for this very deep and content and explanation about the certification, the green certification, ecolabel and travel life. We know that after we can have a more discussion on bilateral during the lunch break with the people here. So now it's time to change the session. I will invite here to come. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Silvia. From the European Commission, we are very delighted to have you here with us, also in remote, because means that we need the endorsement also from the European Commission, so for these European projects. And we will come back to you with the follow-up, Silvia. We will come back with the follow-up of the policy meeting today. Is she still online or not? No, I don't think so. Anyway, we will have a follow-up. That's for sure. Sergio, please. Now I invite here for the last session. Silvia, you are still there. So Silvia, I was saying, yes, thanks a lot, Silvia. I was saying that we will come back to you with the follow-up of this policy meeting. And we are very delighted and proud that you have been here with us today, because it's important to have the representation of European Commission with us. So we feel the European project, they deserve also the connection with European Commission. So thanks a lot also for all your very clear and detailed presentation on ecolabel. So we will come back to you. Maybe from Romania, Romanian SMEs, they will be on board. They will be on board. We will increase the number of SMEs from Romania, ecolabel certified SMEs from Romania. Thanks a lot, Silvia. We will keep in touch. Bye. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Bye. Thank you. So now the last session is the most, let's say, pragmatic. Also, the other was pragmatic, but in the way that we needed to learn and to listen from the technical perspective about certification processes. And now I invite here Sergio Moreno Gil, who is the director of the Institute for Tourism and Sustainable Economic Development, TIDS, or TIDES, in Las Palmas, Canary Island in Spain. He will be here as a moderator, so he will take my place. But I'm happy for that. I'm happy because we want to establish synergies and we want to establish also collaboration. Then we invite also Dagmar Lund Durlacher, who is representative of the Center for Sustainable Tourism from Berlin, Germany. And please come here and sit, Dagmar. Also, I invite here another good example of circular tourism, which is Erika Garcia Nunes, coordinator of the Sustainable Garden Hotel in Spain. Please, and please, you can sit here. And then we have online in remote also another speaker, who is Mr. Joel Fernandez. He's a project and policy advisor in Eurochambre in Belgium. So we try to collect today, I guess he's online, and we try to get now on board different concrete example of successful projects or European project results, also example from the best practices in the territory, like in this case in Balearic Island in Spain, and also from other European projects, like from Eurochambre. Eurochambre is the European association representing the chambers of commerce, and they are based in Brussels. So it will be very let's say, concrete and tangible. I don't know if Joel is online. Yeah. So then, Sergio, I can give now the floor to you, and you will manage very well, I'm sure. So I will keep silence for a moment, please. Go.
Thank you, Cinzia. So what a place, huh? What a destination this is. I mean, what a city. I mean, it's so impressive, and what a venue. Wow. So first, thank you very much for organizing this great event, and for especially to Cinzia and Antonia. So I think it's wonderful. So yeah, we have a topic. It's a pleasure and an honor, obviously, to be here sharing this session. And the topic, as you know, how to ensure continuity for certified and circular economy SMEs. So it's about what's going on after, you get some achievements. But as we all know, sustainability is a path. So it's about the next steps. It's a never-ending road, right? So we have to keep going. And to discuss that, we have three distinguished speakers who bring to the table great insights and diverse perspectives, what is wonderful. And actually, we have, as you know, they were already presented, but let me just say some, let's say, a bit of a personal note for each one. So for Dagmar, I would say that she's truly an international expert on sustainable tourism. So many years of experience, academic background, and she's also a network person. So building networks and working in different projects. And in this case, she's here, among others, as a coordinator of the European funding project, Tourism Going Green 2030. And of course, all the experiences and lessons learned in that project. So thank you, Dagmar, for that great experience that you bring to the table. And according to that, I'm going to ask you the first question, and then we keep running with the rest of the speakers. You have a presentation. Okay, so let's jump to the presentation first. Okay. Wow. Because, yeah, we are running out of time, so yeah.
Okay. So thanks. Yeah. So I was invited to actually share the experiences we had with another EU project, and you see it here. It was called Tourism Going Green 2030, and it was also related to the tourism transition pathway. And the goal, the main goal of this project was to support SMEs on their transition and to really help them to implement and integrate sustainability operations into their businesses. Because we know that it's very hard for SMEs to do so because of, transformation is always a difficult thing, but they also lack time, they lack resources, they lack knowledge sometimes, and we really wanted to create an environment to support them to really integrate sustainability. And we thought certification, it's a great instrument to do so. Because we think that certification is an instrument which provides a structured guidance for SMEs to implement sustainability, because you have to tackle all these criteria. And so we considered it a good instrument, and we guided this SME through this certification process. And I really want to be quick because we are running late, but I want to share, the process we have developed, because we have developed a model which should help the SMEs to really go through such a certification. Yeah, maybe going back. Oh, see, now I have the same problem. Here it is. Our partners were 8 partners in 6 countries, and we have the Romanians. We had the Romanians too with CBO, but also Italian partners. APT Basilicata was one of the partners, and then German, Austria, Croatia, and Bulgaria was also represented. Okay, so you see here already the overall project objective was to help them, go through this transition process. And we had 4 pillars to do so. First, we wanted really to create a community of knowledge sharing, because we thought for SMEs, it's really, you have to take them on their hand, to guide them through this process, because there's also a little bit of hesitance to really go for a certification. They don't know, which certification they should go to and how to really do that. And so we wanted to create this knowledge sharing community to help them to really, in this peer learning process, to learn from each other, to learn from organizations or tools which provide the knowledge, and to really the learning from the peer learning was really an important pillar. So we created this knowledge community. We built an online knowledge base. We also developed, and now I refer to Silvia's presentation from the Ecolabel. We noticed it's important to really provide tailor-made support for the SMEs, to really take them, and really guide them through the process. And then we also made sure that it becomes visible when they are certified. So I will be very brief, but I have to share with you what we did so that you understand the model. So first, we created this knowledge and innovation sharing community. And one of the success factors we had, it was the composition of our partners, of our consortium partners, which were knowledge providers, which were business support associations like chambers of commerce and hotel associations, and destinations, DMOs, they also play a very important role. We had the experts, and we had the businesses in the tourism value chain, because it's also important, to bring this value chain businesses into this certification process, because of course, you have to get a sustainable supply at one point of time. And so this was important. And this, especially knowledge providers, they were responsible to develop the resources and the tools which actually helped the destinations to build up their knowledge. I don't go in detail. I show you that because everything is available online and for free. So if you're interested, just check it out, our website, and this is explained then in more detail what we did. So how did we do this? How did we accompany the SMEs on the way to the certification? So the first step was that we created a very simple online course on certification, which explained, what is a certification, what are the benefits, what certification exists, because that's already a problem, that businesses often do not know, what certification should they go for, what is appropriate for them. So we have a 5-model short course for them to introduce certification to the SMEs. Here you see the models. I just jump over. And then we set up a coaching system. And I think that was very crucial. So we recruited coaches, expert coaches, which were experts on certification in the countries, and we operated on a national level. I think that was also important because, first of all, the language barrier, but also you have different framework conditions in the countries, legal frameworks, cultural differences, and so on. So it was very important, and I think that was part of the success that we actually operated on a national level Although, of course, we shared the experiences on the European level among the partner countries. Yeah, and you see here the case of Italy, because we had Italy as a partner. So these were our experts, and in total for the 6 countries, we recruited about 50 experts, which supported our SMEs on the way to the certification. They also supported our workshops, because we have organized workshops for the SMEs. And really, you know, if a question occurred, SMEs could contact them and ask them for advice. So that was a very important element in this whole process. So what we also did already for the beginning, we developed a certification self-check. Very simple, not 100 and something criteria. It was just a little bit about 40 criteria, but they were GSTC compatible, you know, which the standards, recognized international standards. And the SMEs did that, some of them together with the coaches, to see where do they stand, and especially also to figure out, you know, which certification scheme is actually appropriate for them. Because, I mean, there are different sizes of SMEs or different, you know, stages, and you have to decide for which certification you go. This is the self-check. You can also check it out online. And then selection of the certificate. And here we made it also, we screened the certification schemes, the third-party audited certification schemes in our 6 partner countries, you know, for reliability, credibility, and so on. And then we came up with 21 certification schemes we recommended. These were national certification schemes, but also international certification schemes like the Ecolabel, Green Key, or others. Yeah, Travel Life was among them. You see some of them here. And this helped the SMEs to make an informed decision for which certificate they went. The next phase was actually the peer learning phase, and, you know, really to implement improvements in the businesses, in the operations. So we organized workshops where we also invited, for example, food producers or craftsmen, you know, which helped them also, for example, to maybe introduce some organic products into their food operations and food services. So it was really very fruitful to have this peer learning, and they learned from each other. They could discuss the problems, and the coaches, of course, were there to support them. Yeah, and the next one then, and that worked very well. Yeah, what we also did, and you can find it also online, were the best practices. So we identified and described 70 best practices as an inspiration for the SMEs to actually implement such actions. And last but not least, we had the certification. And I can tell you the project was quite successful because we managed to certify 70 SMEs within 8 months. And if you have been involved already in certification processes, this is quite a short time from the beginning to, you know, the certification. And as all our pilot SMEs got a certificate, I will show you later which ones it was. And what was also important, we gave them a stage. Yeah, so we really promoted them. We had press releases, and we also created a map where they can be found. Okay, so the project outcome I already mentioned, 70 SMEs from the 6 countries were certified with 80 certifications. Some went for a double certification, like in Austria, almost all SMEs which participated got the Austrian Ecolabel and the EU Ecolabel. And I think I just want to mention that I didn't want it, but because of the discussions before, The Austrian eco-label, it's a very unique situation. Therefore, we have so many certified SMEs with the eco-label. The Austrian eco-label is partnering with the EU eco-label, and the Austrian eco-label adheres to the standards of the EU eco-label, and therefore, it's easy for the SMEs to get both certifications. Okay, jump over that. We had the knowledge platform, which I showed you. And what was also very important is that especially our business support, our project partners and business support organizations, they have built up a lot of competence too, and they have built up a network. And they are continuing now to actually motivate SMEs to go for such certifications. So they are multipliers. And I think they also play a very central role in this whole process. Yeah, what did we learn? That's my last slide already. Finish? Okay, but I think I will not discuss them, yeah? What did we learn? The success factor was for sure the composition of the project partners, because what we learned is that it's really central to have a coordinator who takes the SMEs by the hand and who coordinates the certification process and also coordinates a community. Yeah, the title is Community of Praxis. And this is a chance for SMEs to learn from each other and to get knowledge. And so therefore they play a central role. And it has to be really easy for the SMEs to go into such a process. Then the supportive and helping environment with the coaches, with the online tools, and so on and so forth. This community feeling was very important because they really were in an exchange and learned from each other, and visibility, which we created. And this, in a nutshell, is what we have learned from our project, what we have, what we think is important when we want more SMEs to be certified and to really, go into this process, which is a hard one. And yeah, I hope that this will be a role model for other organizations and SMEs to implement such processes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dagmar, for this great presentation about this sister project that is very related. And we will come back to you with the question related to the implications and what's coming next, let's say, with that perspective. And now we will give the floor to Joel Fernandez, who is online, as you know. He was already introduced by Cynthia, but let me just highlight that he has 24 years of experience in different organizations such as the World Economic Forum, the British Columbia government, or Marriott Hotels. And basically he's can bring to the table a world perspective, I think, working and developing his career in every single continent in the world. So thank you, Joel. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much for having me here. And what a day. It is really cold in Brussels, and I should have been there with you in Matera, and I regret not being with you. Well, I'm going to talk to you about the energy efficiency for the HORECA project. I'm not going to share a presentation or slides unless you allow me. I think we are running out of time. So let me just talk to you about the project. Well, this is a project funded by the LIFE program under the EU. Under the EU LIFE program. It's a 3-year project. We are 1 year into the project, and I have good news to all those who are certifying companies. We are working with companies that are not certified. We are working with SMEs that are not certified. And we are training them, we are building capacity, we are creating business models and benchmarks for them. But that's what we are doing under this project. But they are not certified. And my objective of being here today was to listen and learn from you all on what would be the best certification for companies that we are training. 1, Two, most of the EU SMEs think that all of these certifications are very bureaucratic, very difficult to get, very expensive. So I am going to invite some of you to our consortium calls because we work with a lot of chambers of commerce all across the EU that are working on this project, and you may be able to advise and guide them and us and the companies that are under this project that could benefit from some of your checks, some of your certifications. I know Dagmar just talked about the value chain. So the Energy Efficiency for HoReCa project works across the value chain in the HoReCa sector. We are trying to educate SMEs and from the HoReCa value chain on what are those benefits of energy efficiency and energy management systems and things like that. Yeah, so that's the crux of the project. We have another 2 years for the project to end. So this is the right time for you to jump in with your certifications, with your ideas. And, we'd be very happy to support you as well as you can support us, because at the end of the day, we are talking about collaboration out here. So it'll be great for us to work together. Well, we are going to train around 520 staff under this project, which are energy technicians within the HoReCa sector. And there will be a close to around 1,500 virgin companies, let me put it that way, that have no idea on energy certifications within the HoReCa sector. So this is a great opportunity for us to come together, work together, and get it all rolling for the companies that are part of these projects. Our project is funded by the EU, so I'm sure some of you are also supporting or being funded by the EU. So it'll be great to work together on this. If you look at the countries that we are working with, we are working, of course, with Belgium. We are working with the Chambers of Commerce in France, whether it is the ones in Paris or the ones at Nice Côte d'Azur. So if there are any colleagues from France in the room, do contact these chambers of commerce, or you can contact us at Eurochambers, and we'd be very happy to introduce you to the companies. We also have Italy. We have the Union Camere Veneto. We have the Fenice Green Park, and we are also working with the University of Brescia. That is leading on creating the benchmarking tools for us. We have the Energy Institute for Business from Austria. We have the Spanish Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Cambra de Terrassa from Spain. So I heard some of you in your earlier presentations talking about the Spanish consortium that you have built together. So yeah, it's great for us to work together because the Spanish HoReCa sector will definitely benefit from some of the great work that you are doing. And the last two countries are Latvia and Germany. So I'm talking to the room out here. Any one of you from these countries want to support the companies from these particular countries, as well as the projects and the chambers of commerce, do get in touch with us. My name is Joel Fernandez, and I'm sure my presentation will be shared with you later on, but in the context of time, to keep in short, it's fernandez@eurochambers.eu. Do contact us. We'd be very happy to support you. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel, for bringing to the table this HoReCa perspective with all the initiatives that you are leading at the European level. And we will come back to you again with different questions related to that topic. And now we will jump to the last presentation, the last speaker. So Erica Garcia, she's, as you know, from our Garden Hotels in Mallorca, Spain. And as a personal note, I will just highlight that she holds a master in sustainable tourism planning and management. And what I want to highlight is that people are now getting education specifically on this topic. And that's I think it's awesome. And she's really a pioneer and a believer. So thank you, Erica. And whenever you are ready, the floor is yours.
So thank you so much to all of you. Thank you so much, Sergio, Cinzia, Antonia, to organize all these international and interesting event in this amazing venue. Also, I regret that because of the politicians, we have to now run. So next time we invite them, the last ones, so we have time to discuss about important things. So this is the practical session, and we are an example of a hotel chain that is implementing circular economy in his strategy. So I'm going to try to give you very clear examples and go straight on to the point. So just for you that the ones that you don't know, Garden Hotels is a family-owned company. We are based in Balearic Islands. We are, most of our hotels are in Mallorca, although we are not an SMEs. We are a familiar company, so the management is quite, have this vision about home. So we are always thinking about the next generation. So the company was founded on the 80s. So we have still having the same owners as the managers. So although we are a large company, we have having this mindset. And I am the coordinator of the sustainability department, but this department started 2 years ago. So before that, it was other people of the company that they take care of actions in terms of sustainability. And it's only me now. So although we are a large company, we are quite a few people that is taking care of that. So I want to transmit that it is possible, although you don't have a big team that is taking care every day of this. And yeah, just straight to the actions. What we can share with you that for sure you also can do as SMEs in your companies to implement circular economy in your management. We start around in 2014 because the person in charge of the purchasing department realized that we were not buying so much local product. What it happens in Balearic Islands, we depends, so what we consume, 95% of what we consume provides from outside. That means mainland Spain, Europe, or the rest of the world. And in July and August, so high season, it increased until 99%. So that means that we are not consuming enough from the islands because we are not producing enough to maintain our tourism ecosystem. So that means that we need to support this local economy. So when we realized we could do more to support local economy, we start getting in contact with local producers, trying to buy directly products to them. So at the beginning was difficult because they have not maybe the infrastructure to so satisfy our demands. We are high demanding, big consumers, so we feel we should be also big promoters, but it was so difficult to try to get this relationship directly with them. But we start buying more and more local products. And also we want to support also organic farming because we really think it's the best for people and for planet. And at the end, they are the ones that they are taking care of the landscape that we are offering to our tourists. So that's why we want to support them. So yeah, we start buying every year more of local products, and we also create a special area in our buffets where we have exclusively organic and local products. So we make this like a difference area so the client can appreciate that all the products that they are consuming, that it's there in the buffet in this special area, it's indicated, they have info, so everything you are tasting here is organic and it's local. So they give value to this area because we are showing all this effort that we are doing. But the point was in 2022, the new tourism law of Balearic Island, yeah, I have to run? Okay. Point that is compulsory by law for the HoReCa sector to consume at least 3% of local products. So that means in the Balearic Islands is an obligation to make this consumption. We were starting years before, so for us it was easy to go ahead implementing this new application. But it is not so easy, because you have to create this relationship directly with the local producers, and it's not so easy to satisfy our demand from them. There are thousands of hotels in Balearic Island, and not all the, as I said, we depend a lot from outside. So last year, we were consuming around 13% in media of our consumption was local produce. So we are very proud of that, although we have to keep going because it's quite difficult to maintain these numbers. Local product could be more expensive, but we always think that it's worth it. Maybe you don't have to do it all local or all should be perfect, but you can do something. Although you cannot buy all locally, please try to do some products you can, just go for it. And I have another example I want to share with you. It's also related to support local economy. That is something that all of us, we can do as consumers. But here we got farther with that. And it was the example of Mallorcan organic lamb. Let me explain you. After all these meetings with the local producers, some of them come to us with an idea. They were farmers and they had sheep, but they don't have the way to put value to these sheep because they were doing in an organic way, but the product was expensive in the market and it was not like a brand to support them. So they want to give more value to this product, trying to show how good it is. So at that moment, 2015, we were buying lamb in New Zealand, so quite far away. And we say, okay, we want to help you. We want to buy organic local lamb. Why not? But they say, we have only the idea, but we don't have like this company. It's not created yet. It's not a brand. We don't have yet all this. So we help them. We create a business plan for them. And the business plan said you should sell at least 150 kilos of this product to make this new company viable. So we try to help them to find clients. We make a promotion event in one of our hotels. We invite other hoteliers, chefs, public administrations to make a taste menu of the product and try to make more people involved in this new company. But no one decided to buy the product. So we should decide if we help them or we wait until they were ready. So we decided to go for it, and we were buying the total amount, the 150 kilos per week that the business plan says was the minimum to make it viable. That means that at that moment, we should change the menus of our restaurants, because we didn't offer that such amount of lamb. Our main client is German and they prefer pork instead of lamb. So we changed the menus. Then we should make all the process in our own kitchens because they have no infrastructure facilities to do that. So we buy the whole piece, we cut it in our kitchens, we cook it, and then we distribute it to the rest of our hotels in our own refrigerated vans. So that means it's not just to support local product because I go and I buy it, it's done. I'm helping you to make it real. Probably nowadays, if we didn't help them at that moment, this company doesn't exist today. So we are quite proud to say that we start buying 3,000 kilos per year. Last year was more than 4,000, and this year we exceed the 6,000 kilos of this product that we are offering in our hotels. And we have maintained almost after 10 years our agreements, but also we have made new agreements because of some climate situations. For example, some years ago, because of the drought, we should buy before the season and keep this product frozen in our hotels because of all this situation. So we keep doing this and adapting So both of us, this relationship of truthfulness. So how I can help you and how you help me. So nowadays, this idea that they start with some farmers are more than 30 livestock farming families from this project. So just to follow with some actions and trying to conclude, to go to conclusions, this one is quite important one I want to share with you because it's a very clear example of circular economy. And is that in all these meetings with the organic farmers, we understood that they had a problem with organic fertilizer. We always asked them to increase the amounts that they were producing because we want to buy more and more organic food, but they say that they have no options in Balearic Islands of this organic fertilizer. So they have to buy it from outside and it's quite expensive. So we want to support them to find a solution. And we realize that we have the solution in-house because we are producing every day big amounts of organic matter. So let's try that maybe this organic matter that is a waste for us can be the solution for you. So we contract a master composter because we are hoteliers, we have no idea about compost. And we make a pilot test in 2016 where we were trying to see if it could work. So during 1 month, we were doing this test with in collaboration with different associations. So every day in one hotel, we are producing between 600 and 700 kilos of organic waste. Every day only in one hotel, 200-room hotel. So in 1 month, we were generating 20,000 kilos of compost. And the analysis says that the compost was class A. That means the maximum category. So it's allowed in organic agriculture. So after that, we were very happy. So we have the solution. But what happens? The law. The waste law at that moment didn't allow us to manage in our own selves the organic waste. So we should wait until the government of Balearic Islands decided to go further on the new waste law. So we were participating in the work plans of the new waste law of Balearic Islands, trying to push them to include this possibility to make compost in ourselves, because at that moment it was not allowed. So we received the subsidy for circular economy projects from the Balearic government, from the funds of the Sustainable Tourism Tax, to start doing a composting project. We make all the applications for authorization. It was 4 years bureaucracy, crazy stuff, but we did it. So now we can manage waste, organic waste, and also we are managers of biomass, because to make compost we need half-half, so organic waste and pruning waste. So, and also we have a composting plant with the corresponding authorization, and we make this composting plant directly on the agriculture exploitation, on the biggest organic agriculture exploitation in Mallorca. So we take the organic waste of 3 hotels that we have close to this area. So it goes directly to the finca. They do the biological process of compost, and then they integrate this compost to the soil, and then we change this compost for organic products that they come back to the hotels, and we offer in this bio corner in the buffet, identify for all our clients. So in 2019, the new Balearic Waste Law enters into force. So we consolidate the project. So nowadays is allowed to do that. And we are quite proud to push the government to allow us to do that. And we upscale this bio corner. So it's not just in one hotel. Now we have it in more hotels of the company, and we make it also bigger. Here there is a 10 seconds video. I'm just going to pass that, but if you want to see this project of the compost, you can go on YouTube and just search Garden Hotel Composting Project, and you have it. And you can see, how the area and all the process. Here there are some numbers about how we increase the amount of organic waste that we are managing over the years. and how tons of organic compost we are producing and what it means in terms of avoiding emissions. Also about plastic, we have been working a lot. So in terms of single-use, monodose, plastics, of amenities. So we are doing these changes, not just because the law forced to us to do it. In Balearic Islands, the waste law also is not allowed to use these single-use amenities that you have in the hotels. Not just because of that, also because we want to create this circular supply chain. So what we decided to do is look for a company in Mallorca who were doing this kind of amenities. At that moment, it didn't exist. So we were buying this kind of products from outside. So we go for a company that they could try to do it. We motivate them to do this kind of product for hotels because they were doing this kind of products only for supermarkets. So we motivate them, we support them, and we create a returnable process where we use these local products. Once they are empty, we keep them in the hotel. The company comes to take them, they clean them, they refill them, and they come back to the hotel. So all this happens in the island in Mallorca. So these dispensers have a life cycle of 5 to 7 uses. So that means that for 2 consecutive seasons, we are using the same plastic dispensers. They are bigger, but they are also returnable, not single use, and the product that is inside is local. So finishing, I just give you some ideas about things that you can do in your communities, but the important thing is that we'd like to talk about circular economy in terms of local action, because we really think is the circular economy that it works, because if not, it's something very theoretical and very global. So circular economy is just to go on local actions, go close to you, and things that can have a local impact. Not just because I'm saying, because we have a certification. We were in 2021 the first total chain internationally to be certified with this circular economy strategy by AENOR. This is the Spanish Association for Standardization and Certification. So this means that it's not just different actions we are doing. That means that we have a strategy. So that means that all the corporate decisions should follow the principles of circular economy, and it's something that we have to audit every year. And here we have an overview of how we achieve all these things. And we were starting more than 20 years ago in 2001 with an ISO certification and an IMA certification. Then we keep with travel life and with other steps. But as our colleague have said, the certification is not the achievement, is the first step. So nowadays, after all this process, we have this strategy that involves all the employments, all the clients, all the stakeholders. So we have this structure that make us always that we have to take a decision, integrate the principles of circular economy. Benefits, here you have some awards and recognitions of all these words, and also some highlights about places we have been sharing knowledge and learning about other ones. So these are some benefits on work on all this. And just to finish, I want to make some reflections and conclusions. For sure, after all, we can keep talking and giving you some advices. But for me, it's quite clear that the cost of not acting consciously is higher than business as usual. So even though the dimension of the company truly is the higher is cost if we keep doing business as usual than if we take action. The smallest action is better than the greatest intention. This is quite important. So it doesn't matter if you only can do a small, it's better than just think about what I would like to do in the future. And just the last sentence to finish, I want to transmit you that leading our own future depends on making a small difference in what we do today, so that over time it becomes a significant transformation of tourism management. Shall we start? So thank you so much.
So thank you, Erica, for this inspiring best practice presentation and showing how to go the extra mile. Is it both possible, and you get the reward after that in a social community. So thank you. And now we're running out of time, but still time for a very quick question. And please, I will ask for a 1 minute answer to that question. So Dagmar, you have very good best practices and lessons learned out of your project. So in order to scale it up and let's say to capitalize all those learnings into the national and European level, considering the SMEs, what is the path? I mean, what are your suggestions and what are your ideas about that? Thank you.
I think as I presented, these communities of learning, of knowledge sharing are very important. And for that, to build that up, we need multipliers, we need coordinators. And that can be business support organizations like Chambers of Commerce, but this can also be destination marketing or destination management organizations. So we were very successful with a few destinations where the DMOs took over this role of coordinating these certification processes. And I think it's very important for the certification process itself, but also for continuing as you said in the beginning, sustainability or sustainable transformation, it's a learning process and it will never stop.
Thank you. I'll go back to you, Joel. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
I don't know if he's connected or not.
I am connected, but they are not allowing me to. The host has stopped.
But we can hear you. We can hear you. We have only 1 minute, so I'll jump to the question.
Okay.
So regarding the,
I'm here.
now we can see you. That's great. So regarding the collaboration and to work together with the different platforms such as Booking.com or any other, right? To promote, let's say, the tourism SMEs certifications and the concern and the work they are doing in sustainability issues. What are your thoughts about that? How can you suggest some ideas to, let's say, guide the SMEs about that process? We have only 1 minute, but please go ahead.
Sure. I think bringing all the stakeholders to the table and making everyone collaborate is key. Just like, Erica did mention about not just having an intention, but actually doing some action. And I think large platforms like Booking.com and Expedia and all of those large platforms do have a stake in the game. They should support and promote companies and hotels that are following a certain guideline or certain sustainability efforts. I encourage them, because at the end of the day, only through encouragement and visibility, these kind of companies are really interested in participating in a sustainability effort. I mean, you can't have an SME think about great introducing great technologies when they still lack finance. But when they actually make that effort to do that, and when they actually take that first step, not only to get certified, but also to do certain add innovation within their hotels, within the HoReCa chain, I think they need to be recognized, and large platforms do play that important role. So I would definitely suggest that we have more stakeholders from the larger platforms get involved and showcase and create that kind of visibility, which is very important, because today the traveler is very smart, but they are also looking out for They're willing to pay, for sustainability efforts done by the organization. And if Booking.com just has a little visibility logo or visibility sign next to a hotel saying that they are certified, or they have some kind of, they are following certain sustainability measures, I think that will go a long way. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joel. And last but not least, Erica, you were saying that somehow this path of circular economy and certifications pay off, but what are the main benefits that SMEs can get out of that path that you are?
First of all, we have internal benefits in terms of optimize your management, because the certification give you this structure, so these standards. So it's quite difficult because we talk about sustainability. There are so many things you can do, and sometimes you go where I should start. So this kind of certification give you this step by step to start, so to be quite organized internally, and also make you to be more efficient in the terms of know where I have to focus my efforts. So first of all, internally, it's quite efficient. Also for your staff, who is understanding better which are the goals, so why we are doing this. When you have the certification, it is very clear. If not, you are doing a lot, but it's not so clear. And then externally, in terms of clients, it has a lot of benefits, because also you are coherent and your standards are very truthfulness. So they can, you are transparent, they can understand what you are saying, because there are a third party that is auditing that. So it's very clear, is a recognition internationally. So in terms of clients, is also very important, because you are very transparent. So we avoid greenwashing, all these green claims and all this stuff. And also in terms of stakeholders, because you can push them. So I am certified, I am doing this, you want to work with me, so you have to try to be the same. So you are pushing all the value chain. When you have no certification, is quite more difficult. So also in terms of residents, I think it has a lot of benefits. Nowadays, we have to talk also in Balearic Islands about over-tourism. So it is quite important for the residents that all that we are claiming is true. They can check that. We should be very transparent, and the accreditation or the certification give you this feedback. So I think also it has benefits in terms of local community.
Thank you so much, and thank you all the speakers for the great insights and presentation. They were running, and sometimes it was fast and dirty, but we appreciate the effort they made and to feed all the ideas. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sergio, for moderating wonderfully this session, and for all the speakers for keeping the time. We are sorry for some delays, but I think this session was really, really interesting. Thanks to all. Okay, so now we are going to the conclusions, and we have still the keynote speaker, Professor Fevzi Okumus. But before, we have the intervention of the Basilicata region. So I think the Dr. Michele Busciolano is online, and he really wanted to give a few words of support for the project. He is there, okay. Nice to see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you very much. So we had some issue in the morning, but we would like still to ask to Dr. Busciolano, which is the support of the region? What are the actions that Basilicata region is doing to support the sustainable entrepreneurs in Basilicata, and to become an example also for other regions in Italy and in Europe? So the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm so sorry not to have be there with you, and but we are in a big mess about the topic. The main topic now in our region is the water, is the We are suffering from a drought, very severe drought that limits the consumption of water for citizens, and we are talking about this crisis. And this is the main the main way, because our president that gives his greetings to all of you, and are very busy in trying to solve this pattern. Anyway, this is one of the pattern that probably happens because the sustainability is to be very focused, much more focused than now it is. I'm talking from a point of view that is the governance, that is from a public point of view. I'm talking also as the manager, the director of the Department of Energy and Environment. And we are in a region where the environment is particularly attentive. We have 2 national parks, 3 regional parks. Matera is in the middle of a regional park, that's the Murgia Materana Park, and you can understand that everything to preserve and to protect the town and the park is done from us. When we talk about sustainability certificates and so on, we are talking about something that probably for the most of entrepreneurs is something that is heavy, is another bureaucratic problem that have to be solved, and probably are different. I'm very happy to have heard about intervention, the panel before, because everybody has underlined that is a sort of behaviors. It's not just a submission to something that the law or regulation can impose. This is the main point. And probably the communication, the institutional communication that we have to do, not only in tourism field, but in every field, must be focused on this. The sustainability certification, ecolabel, we can call it as we wish, must be considered as a normal way of behavior when anybody make a project. Just a quotation about the National Plan of Resilience and Recovery. You know that we have a lot of money, very big money. Our region is almost €1 billion that has to be invested in our projects, and we know that there is a point that makes every project of PNRR, when we call it PNRR in Italian, and has to be eco-labeled. And this is a problem because I have heard about my colleagues from ISPRA, from Istituto Superiore per la Ricerca e l'Ambiente, Ricerca Ambientale. There are no structures that can provide for this eco-label in every field. I think to the big project of engineering, or to railway road, or everything else that is involved in PNRR. So I think that we have to make a lot of road, a lot of way to understand exactly how to manage this problem that in the next future, but we are yet in the future, is to be faced exactly about the engagement and the commitments of the public administrations that have to understand first and communicate after to people, to entrepreneurs, to every field of production and the economic fields, that this is the future. We are suffering of drought, we are suffering of water, we are suffering of climate change, we are suffering of a world that is changing very rapidly. So this is a commitment that we would like to transfer to this session. I hope that we would be effective as soon as possible, and well, I hope that everybody of you that is in the field of tourism can enjoy Matera and the way that we have to face to protect this this wonderful UNESCO town that is our proudness in our region. So thank you for the invitation to me, and greetings, good work. I hope that everything is going to you in the best way. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your intervention. So that was very, very important to know about the support of the region and to know the actions and the issues that are going on in this region in particular. We have heard about water issues, so the availability of this important resource, and we know how the tourism can be a very high consumption sector. So it's so important to reduce consumption, to enhance the efficiency of the processes in all the activities in the tourism sector. So thank you so much for highlighting this. And finally, we can go to our keynote speaker of today's conference, today's meeting, who is Professor Fevzi Okumus. He is from the USA, and he will be an expert involved in the TRACE project for some of the activities for selected SMEs. He is professor at the Rosen College for Hospitality and Management of the University of Central Florida. And I think he's connected, so he's here. Okay, hello Fevzi.
Hey, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you well. It's morning in your country, so good
Yes,
morning to you.
It's 7:30, and my apologies. I wish I could join you in person.
Next time
Yes,
for sure.
I am originally, as you know, from Turkey, but Italy is as important as Turkey for me. I have been to Italy more than 20 times, and each time I go, I love Italy more and more, especially cuisine and people. And all Europe, and also sustainability and circular services are important in every country. So with your permission, I can start. I don't want to keep you waiting for your lunch and concluding your session.
Thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon to you, good morning to me. It is 7 a.m. here, 7:30. I wish I could join you in person. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. All right. I think we are good. What I want to cover within the next 10-15 minutes about competitiveness of businesses, small and medium-sized businesses through sustainable and circular services. We all know competition is tough in every field, especially in hospitality and tourism. The COVID pandemic has affected all the industry, and many businesses and destinations are only getting to the 2019 level. I live and work in Orlando, in Florida, in the United States. Orlando is the leading destination. We receive about 80 million tourists annually. And with all the theme parks, hotels, convention centers, and so many activities, but we are still feeling the effects of COVID, right? So when we talk about competitiveness, professors always talk through theories and concepts. We mainly look at a destination or a business, how it's using its resources, is the productivity of its resources. Okay, and so many countries, destinations have wonderful, very unique tourism resources and all other activities, but it's all about how they use it. And then creating added value. You may have all the beaches, historical monuments, culture, everything, but what are you adding? What is your added value? And all these efforts you start increasing national and regional wealth. In Europe, all destinations more or less indirectly, directly depend on tourism. The tourism industry is really key in many areas, and the businesses, local communities rely on tourism. Sometimes we have the issue of over tourism. That's another concept. But that it brings here sustainable growth, not over tourism, but maintaining local cultures, heritage, sustainable efforts, resources, and everything. At the end, we talk about in tourism or in other industries, when we develop an industry, how we can improve living standards of local citizens, right? If the tourism industry is successful, businesses are successful, competitive, at the end, we look at sustainable growth and improving living standards of citizens. If tourism is good in one area, we look at whether it's affecting living standards of citizens. That's the ultimate goal of any, I think, activity, sustainable activities, circular economy activities, basically. Competitiveness there are three, basically, when we look at destinations, two approaches. We look at comparative advantage, what resources a destination has. For example, I visited South Africa, the Kruger Park, and it's amazing. It's as big as some countries in Europe, the whole Kruger Park. And we spend all day, but only spend perhaps $30, $40, $50 for the visit, safari. And here, where I live, there are Disney's theme parks. Animal Kingdom is one of them. They created everything from scratch. It's not natural, it's not organic, it's all man-made. But to get into this theme park here, we pay $80 or $100 for the ticket, $20, $30, $40 for parking, food, everything. At the end, you spend minimum $150, $200. And then so many people are working, it created a lot of jobs and so forth. What is important here is whether you have comparative advantage or you have competitive advantage. It all depends on how we use our deployment, how we deploy our resources. One other theory, again, in terms of competitive advantage, Porter's diamond model, it looks at basically how firms compete based on what quality or price and so forth. And in a country, in an area, what the factor conditions are, they quality, cost structure, and so forth. And the demand conditions look at mainly the domestic market and international demand, and how the government is supporting this industry in many ways, tax brackets and other incentives and so forth. And then finally, we have related and supporting industries. We say regional development clustering approach. So they all determine a destination's competitive advantage. Finally, we have chance, luck. If something happens in a destination, it brings a lot of demand. Something happens, it destroys. For example, when there are hurricanes in the United States, in Florida, many businesses, destinations lose business. But on the other hand, hurricanes are good for the construction companies. Moving forward here, for businesses, any business in hospitality and tourism or outside, when we analyze a business's competitive advantage, we have basically three approaches, schools of thought or perspectives. One is the positioning view, Porter's generic strategies. He says, or this approach says, how businesses can gain competitive advantage, cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. According to this, yes, circular economies, circular services, sustainability efforts, one way or another can lead cost leadership or can help organizations to differentiate. And then also you may be able to focus on a niche group. But sometimes sustainability efforts, circular services may also result in raising your cost structure as well. The other approach, resource-based view, it says, rather than looking at your position outside, it says you need to look at your resources, basically internal, competitive advantage, your distinctive competencies where you are better than your competitors. It's all about internal. It can be your resources, it can be your culture, it can be your unique aspects, your location, and so forth. But they have to be valuable to contribute to your bottom line, your financial basically performance. They have to be rare, No one has, very few people have, or organizations, and also not easy to imitate, copy, and also substitute. And it ends up all about how businesses and destinations use their resources, management practices. And this is very dominant, this approach. And again, sustainability and circular efforts, all those activities can help organizations to differentiate and create basically specific distinctive competencies, and that can set apart from other competitors and other destinations. The last view is in terms of competitive advantages, dynamic capabilities view. It says, building on these previous two approaches, says competition comes from managing knowledge, what knowledge you have and how you are managing it, how you are utilizing and improving it, and how are you innovating and offering something unique and different, and also whether you are first in the market. That is also the key for competitive advantage. When we look at these three approaches, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of sustainability efforts and circular services, we can differentiate one way or another. All these efforts can help businesses to gain some competitive advantage. What I have summarized here, how businesses can gain competitiveness in terms of through sustainability efforts, circular services, it's all about it. They can help, all these activities help businesses to innovate, offer new products and services. And they can help differentiate businesses and set apart from competitors and other destinations. And then also some of our speakers mentioned improving operational efficiency. When you look at your business practices, design, service design, and operations, through sustainability efforts, circular services, you can find areas for improvement, and then also you can save costs. But not all sustainability efforts will lead to cost savings. That's sure, it's not possible. And then brand reputation. We know Gen Y, Gen Z, and even Gen Alpha, they are very much into protection of an environment and improving environment, and then also green practices. For example, some theme parks operations, they were not animal friendly and they are suffering. They had to change all their activities. So we need to pay attention to our customers, current and future customers. So these activities will definitely help our brand reputation and strengthen it. And as we mentioned, new generations and many customers now travel, choose businesses where it's environmentally friendly, organic food, local food, and so forth. That's also important to access to maintain current markets, improve current markets, and access to new markets and reach new revenue streams. And also these sustainability efforts will help us to have some type of compliance and mitigate risk. This is also key for hospitality and tourism businesses, regardless small, medium, and large corporations. And then these practices will help long-term business resilience at the business level and also destination and country level. And as we mentioned earlier, I think all these efforts will help business, not only brand reputation, but also stakeholder relationships. All businesses, regardless in hospitality and tourism, government organizations, when we see businesses focusing on sustainability efforts and then circular services efforts, there will be better and enhanced stakeholder partnerships and relationships. What is important, ladies and gentlemen, here, what we need to say, specific projects, when we go through sustainability efforts, we have to, it's a really, really broad area. It's like a big ocean. The important thing is identify specific projects, look at, and then have ownership and develop specific planning activities. Without planning, without specific objectives, you cannot really achieve anything. And then last, the next topic is here. I think sustainability efforts, it starts from the individual level to the family and then in organizations from individual to the department, department to the whole organization, and the destination and the country, and so forth. So at different levels, we have to focus on sustainability efforts. And it has to be collective efforts. All shareholders, stakeholders, and all businesses should work together. It's not just one organization, but all organizations as possible as in a destination. And I like the term called competition. It's good to compete based on quality and price, but also on sustainability efforts, circular services, hospitality and tourism businesses should cooperate and work together with all the stakeholders. And it all starts with small steps. Previous speaker mentioned how they started, and then also measuring all the efforts and following a design approach and success stories, what you achieved, what is happening, and what you accomplish, what businesses accomplish, and celebrations and awards. That's also important at the individual level, department level, organization level, destination level, and country level. I think these are very, very important. And sustainability is a journey. It's not an end product. We need to continuously learn and improve. And it's the journey. It's the long term. We need to have a strategic approach to think about it, because it's really the worldwide, all these climate change and all these efforts, fresh water, food scarcity, and everything is really a concern. And we need to tackle all issues together at different levels. And then we believe, as we mentioned earlier, these efforts will help small and medium-sized businesses to enhance their competitive advantage and brand recognition. Thank you very much, and I will be happy to answer questions or listen to your comments as well. I think this is a great project and with real impact, and we will work on some training projects as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fevzi. Thank you for this insightful presentation. Is there any quick question before we go for lunch? I see you tired, but we will have plenty of time to discuss and to exchange our views. Just some technical questions, then I will invite also Antonio Nicoletti, Director of APT Basilicata, and my colleague Cinzia De Marzo. I thank them both very much for co-organizing this wonderful day. Just a couple of information. After lunch, we are going for the study visit. We are divided into 2 groups. So you will know from our colleagues from APT, Rosanna has the list, who is in one group, who is in the other group, because the structures that we are going to visit are small and we cannot go 50 people all together. So we are in 2 groups, but the visit is similar. Okay, so that said, I will just give the floor to Antonio Nicoletti for giving also some information about this structure in which we are hosted, which is beautiful and it has a story.
I think that you must be tired, and hungry most of all. So maybe if you like, I can just provide some piece of information about the story of this place, but maybe after the first course or the second, we start from the entrance, and I will tell you something about this place, which in my opinion really represents a synthesis of what Matera has been, it is, and will be in the future. But I will tell you this afterwards. So thank you very much again for being here.
Yeah, I also would like to say the last message to all of us. I say us, not you, but us, because we are all included. So today, at the end of this very fruitful meeting, we are bringing a value, a capital human value. We are human all together, so we want to bring this value, but we also to have a vision, and the vision short term, not long. Short term vision is for us to bring, to establish this European circular tourism ecosystem based on the concrete experiences, knowledge, competencies, and also expertise that we can carry together. together, collaborating, exchanges, synergies. So that's what we want to do. We have a clear objective in mind, May 27, 28 May 2025. So we have to work together. Don't forget that we are all engaged, and that's the message. And then we go for the lunch, and we are very happy that we were sharing a very interesting time together today. Thanks.